Okay, so we have Roach hanging out over here, and we had these Sirens over here. Oh, and we're encumbered. I forgot. We have basically been testing just how much weight can we carry at once, and we're approaching 400 insert units here. And I think we were wondering, because we had this quest over here with Yennefer previously, and we were asking ourselves, is it worth... Oh, hello. You are, like, right next to us all of a sudden. Is it worth us trying to go over there and say... I mean, duck into the water... I mean, well, we have, I suppose, checked the water, so there's very unlikely to be anything in there, come to think of it. Yeah. On second thought, I think we're good on that front. I don't recall as to how thoroughly we may or may not have explored this little island here, because these islands, these two ones that kind of make this crater area here in the water, they do have their own specific names. They're large enough to earn that status, but I thought I remembered that we had not really seen much in the way of hearing something. Is that just the Sirens up over this way? That Roach does not want to go there.
Come on, Roach.
And seeing as Roach is basically our only means of transportation on here, what with us being extremely slow when we're encumbered, we kind of need to just listen to Roach. So,
come on.
But yeah, we haven't seen too much on either of these islands thus far, I don't think. Yeah, Roach, she's having some issues here. But I'm thinking that we're probably going to pass up on this island here, because it just, I mean, I had my Witcher senses active there, but didn't see anything jumping out. Oh, we were also thinking maybe we even swap ships, because there is one that's conveniently out of the water here. Nope, wrong way. Up, not down. And there's something to be said for that, because our current ship is... I was gonna say, it's definitely partially damaged. Oh, and we, okay, succeeded in damaging it more. Fantastic. I do think there's something to be said. There's something interesting to be said for completing our entire way around Skellige with one ship. I do think that would be kind of epic. At the same time, it would be very convenient to swap out for this ship right here. Let's see. Oh, we are so close to Hindersfjall. I think that's probably next. And yes, that means headed down south. And it would mean we have more access to other boats. What is this we have active here? Tell the Baron Sergeant we want to take Uma. Is that just directing us to the nearest fast travel location? I have to imagine that's what that's doing, because I'm pretty sure that's not in Skellige. I know we see this entrance here, but I'm 90% sure that we went in this when we were doing that mission with Yennefer. Speaking of which, you all were saying that we can actually still talk to her, potentially, if she's still in Skellige, and she might have a little bit more follow-up to discuss with us. So I don't remember. Where is she now? Is she in Gertrolda at this point? So obviously, we had the whole ordeal in Hindersfjall, but then after we did her quest, brought us there, and then I think we ultimately did end up back on Skellige. But memory is a little hazy on that one. But I think either way, it's probably this question mark that comes next, and actually, we had a high density of question marks up here in this top right corner, but I mean, at least around Hindersfjall, it's significantly less, which is, in some ways, something that is encouraging, because it'll take a while, I think. So in some ways, it'll simplify things. We don't have quite as much to do around here. But either way, we are back on the 7 seas of Skellige. Yar. So we shall see what else we run into around here, matey. More Sirens, perhaps? Methinks yes. Scurvy? Now, we brought the oranges, we'll be fine. We have plenty of vitamin C. And that may even be Hindersfjall that we're seeing to our left there. Because we are deliberately going a little bit off to the side of it, well, I mean, beyond it, to get to this question mark over here. And this is potentially the greatest distance between the question marks that we're going to see. So this could be, yeah, the longest trek between them. I'm curious, though, to see if this is actually Hindersfjall to our left. I mean, now it's a little bit more out of the picture, but it is. It certainly is. Yeah, now it's telling us that our quest is at a totally different place. I think it's just automatically showing us to the closest of the fast travel locations. So the other thing that I'm thinking of, though, is as we're making our basically final rounds around Skellige, that does probably mean that we want to make a point of wrapping up any little things that we have not yet done. So, like, little things that maybe we passed up on because we were saying to ourselves, I don't know, is that something that we're supposed to save for later or something that we should do right now? And so, like, for instance, we had some cave entrances, I know, at one point in time that we passed up on because you were wondering, maybe that's affiliated with some kind of Witcher contract. Like, this one was Steve and Archibald. I think this one was the Necker Witcher contract. So I think we're good on Hindersfjall. There was one on Pharaoh a while back that I think we did ultimately end up doing. Did we end up doing this one? Or was this one that I was saying on a future occasion we'll end up going back to? I mean, this was several weeks ago at this point in time, so don't exactly remember this monster den that says we haven't completed. In either case, looks like we may still have a couple things to do, or at least one thing to do, I think, when we do find ourselves back in the Pharaoh area. But I think we're good on Hindersfjall. I think we're good there. Oh, we could actually, if we wanted to, we could even deliberately harbor somewhere and use that as a bit of a shortcut. If we're trying to get to, like, say, this stuff here, or maybe in this harbor would be a little bit better. I don't know if that's cheating. I mean, it's a similar story to the whole, like, do you switch boats or do you stick with the same boat the entire time? I mean, it's easier. It's definitely easier to fast travel. It's definitely easier to switch boats whenever you get the chance to do so. There are also apparently going to be drowned dead and or sirens attacking us in the not-so-distant future. Okay, well, here's our spot. And here are, yep, the sirens. Geralt has decided it is time to swim. That was not me. Crossbow, please. Where are you? You are over there. Did that hit you? Did that not hit you? That hit you. This, please, Geralt, shoot the siren. Please shoot the sirens. There is still one more siren. The siren is not currently underwater. Let us surface. And then watch the siren stuck underwater right next to us, and then Geralt insists on surfacing when he should be underwater so he can shoot the siren in the face, while this siren strangles us in the face. I believe that is the last of them. Okay. At one point in time, I think we had a count on how many, was drowned dead we expected to find in and around all these areas. There might still be more enemigos of some variety. Maybe, maybe not. Not seen any at this very instant. Let's see, more heavy stuff? A little bit. A little bit. Let's go to this one next. That does look like something swimming in the water that's gonna try to fight us. A little bit off in the distance. We may need to surface before we do all this stuff, because we're at half breath right now. Let's just take a quick second here. Get that back. Now dive back under. And then we have, what, this one left here, maybe? I thought it was this one. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so now it is still lighting up. And then we'll see if the marker rays out after we take this stuff. Looks like it has, so I believe that tells us that that was, in fact, the last of the chests here. And we are relatively close to all this debris, so we actually need to be rather careful that we don't crash into it with our boat. Because, well, we were talking about how it's starting to get a little bit beat up, and we have certainly taken a bit of damage from crashing into this stuff in the past. I'm telling you to go in reverse. I would appreciate it if you would actually go in reverse. Thank you. Then at one point in time, there was that question of, do we actually take damage on our boat if we run over our enemies? And at one point in time, I think there was a drowned dead that appeared, at least, to do just that. I had my doubts. It was kind of in the area of one of those places where there was other debris, so maybe it was actually that stuff, and I just couldn't quite see it. Let's mark where we're going to next. And yeah, so I think we did go to this island here on our way to Hindersfjall, because that was where we got one of the quests, actually. So I think it was both this and this, so I think we're fine there. This as well, I think we got a little quest here too. So we may not have checked out this one. I mean, that looks rather small. So there's a chance that there's just plain and simple nothing there. But we'll try it out, I think. I don't know what that sound was, but it really did. Oh! Sound like, say, a whale that can't decide if it wants to move its flipper or not. Is it this little island? Because if it is, then that is rather steep sides that would suggest that we probably can't actually go onto that. We can try. We can get a little bit closer to see if there's an angle, but I'm rather skeptical. And the sirens around it are also discouraging me a little bit. But we'll see, I suppose. I just think that, I mean, like, certainly we can't get at it from this angle. We went around... Ooh, big waves. We went around, like, over here-ish. Gets a little bit of, lower entry points where maybe we could hop on. Right there, I don't know about that, though. That still looks like... I mean, I'll try. Right here? Maybe? I mean, sort of. We can step on it, but then I think it's steep enough that we immediately drop down. Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, I doubt there's actually anything here. Try swimming around, just in case. I am hearing additional... Yep. Hearing sirens, because they are here. Alright. Time to shoot you in the face. Please duck underwater so that we can actually shoot you in the face. Thank you. Has been shot in the face, confirmed. Like, this way? I have my doubts. I think there's just nothing here. There's like this little thing that maybe we can kind of stand up on, but this is obviously way too steep. Yeah. I think this is probably all we can do here. And by all we can do here, I mean basically take out a siren, take a couple of steps onto shore, and that's about it. And for that reason, I suspect that there isn't actually anything over here of note. In which case, we shall head back onto the ship and see what the next closest, more definitive thing for us to investigate might be, other than this siren right here. Nope, this. Just, you know, duck underwater for a second and then hop onto the boat, because it's much more stylish that way. Okay, so let's take a quick look, because this is actually not as far east as I thought it was. I thought that was going to be right on the edge of the world, and I was thinking we might even start to get the message as we go around the other side of the island saying that we need to turn back. We did not, but I'm thinking it's this question mark, this question mark, and this question mark. The question is just, what order do you do them in? Because we go this, to this, to this, and that's a lot of zigzagging back and forth. So I think it might actually be best to do this one first, even though it's a little bit overshooting. Because then I think you double back a little bit for this one, but then you can just go from one question mark to the next, and these are all pretty close together. So I'm thinking that's the place to go. What's up? How's it going, Arumi? We're just checking out additional little islands here and there. And so we caught one right nearby, but it just was too steep for us to actually make landing on it. So I suspect that it's one of those things where you probably aren't technically supposed to go there. So we tried, but I suspect that there isn't actually anything there for us to do. Because it was basically something that we just couldn't even go there at all. But this will be another one of the relatively long trips for us here. Because we're kind of going from what was the northeasternmost section, and now we're going to the southern half of Skellige. And it does seem like they're, in some ways, they are basically segmented. There's not a lot in between those two areas. I suppose you could kind of see it as there's a lot in and around some of the islands. Ooh, this is not what I was expecting to see. This may very well be the question mark that we were putting on our map. It's a boat. Okay. It is on fire. And there are sirens. Now, some of that is not terribly surprising. Namely, the siren part. Hello? Hello? This is, kind of strange. But, ow. Probably should have seen that one coming. Got this weird in-between approach here, where it's like, well, okay, well, now we're taking on water, potentially. Do we dive under the water and shoot them with the crossbows? Or do we... hello? Or do we take the sword approach instead? There are a lot of sirens here. There are still many more sirens here. There may not be any more sirens here. There are probably more sirens here, we just don't see where the sirens are. Okay, so we got a flaming boat. And there appears to be loot around said boat. I probably could have told you that much. Let's check it out. I don't really think we took much of a closer look at what we got from our previous round of looting this kind of stuff. Ooh. Those gloves look like they could have been pretty good, but we've gotten some relic rarity things. Which means that, in theory, could be some good stuffs. But can we actually get on this boat? Can we put out the flames? Because, I don't know about that. It'd be cool if we could, but it looks like the sides are just a little too high up here. Whoa! It's actually the wave forcing us to go underwater there. I didn't tell Geralt to dive. But, yeah, there's no, like, obvious points of entry unless, you know, like, we can try to wait for a big wave to come and sort of ride that momentum, but, you know, even if we do that, like, on that occasion, it's enough for us to teleport to the other side of the boat. We can do that. We can go through the boat, kind of, sort of, but, not in it. Not actually in it. That's too much to ask. That is interesting, though. It seems like we saw a couple of the pieces of loot there had Nilfgaardian armor, which I wonder if that's technically supposed to be a coincidence or not, because you could potentially make the case that, oh, okay, that means this was a Nilfgaardian ship, and it crashed or got overrun by sirens or got raided. Let's take a look, though, at some of the stuff we picked up here, because, yes, we have, whoa, gone way over 400 weight units. Let's see, so, Nilfgaardian Guardsman armor, pretty high level, and it is heavy armor, so it's probably not something we use ourselves, because we've been using primarily light armor, but it's worth a fair bit, and it weighs a ton. This may be a little more likely for us to wear, but I think we're close to making our way back to the Velen Novigrad area, which is the place where we can actually upgrade our existing armor. And I think once we do upgrade our existing armor, it will become better than most of the things that we're looking at here. So I do still want to try to be patient on that, because, I mean, it's not like we're going to be fighting too many people in the meantime, mostly just the occasional siren that we will shoot down with our crossbow, and that doesn't really rely too heavily on us having amazing armor to make that happen. Though I do like the plus 50% critical hit damage bonus on these gloves. Even if they're heavy armor, we're focusing on the crits. That's a ton of damage from gloves, which is not usually a place where you're getting much offensively, if anything. I think our existing gloves actually do have a bit, and that's largely the reason why we did opt to use them. You could sort of say that about our gear in general. But let's mark our next location here. Yes, this one was seemingly the most remote, at least in the southern section. We could try going out in the middle of nowhere where there is truly nothing listed and see if anything pops up. But I think we probably head back here now, and then we'll start going to all these question marks here, and then we can make our way back to Faro, the big island here, and then we have to still go into these cave entrances. We can check that out. Monster Den, we can check that out, and then we could potentially poke our head around further south and or east and see if there is in fact anything way out in the middle of nowhere. What's up, Joel? How's it going? Happy to have you guys around. Oh, did I just look at the map and not actually mark any of those things though? Because that kind of defeated the whole purpose. No, I did. Okay, I did. We're good. We're good. Follow the map. And overshoot and whatnot. Yeah, so the weird thing is, so since we're basically what we're doing now is we're just exploring the high seas of Skellige, and it's 90%, if not more, in a boat, and I can't actually tell if we can't do the accelerated speed in the boat or not. We might be going a little bit slower because we're overweight right now, but it is kind of a weird experiment where we can, in many ways, get away with being encumbered for this entire time, and because there are so many things we can loot, we can push the limit quite a bit. So in some ways, I've kind of issued a challenge to myself to see just how much weight can we get, because, I mean, I think by the time we're done with this, if we don't stop to sell our stuff at any point in time, and we just load up on all these things before we sell anything, then we may even find ourselves getting to 1,000, which I think would be kind of hilarious. Yeah, we have big pockets, right? Also, our boat is getting a little bit beat up as we do all this stuff, and so you could make the case, oh, well, it makes some sense to potentially swap out to a different boat at some point in time, one that has a little bit more HP remaining, so to speak. But that's another thing where I feel like it'd be all the more epic if we managed to complete our entire journey exploring all of the Skellige archipelago with just one boat. Wouldn't that be all the more noteworthy? This looks like the place where we set our sights, this little island here. I'm guessing it's gonna be this stuff with all the sirens, yeah. Probably some loots. Oh, they're super sirens, mind you. Okay, Spoils of War is actually a little bit different than what we saw in most other places. Technically, it was, what, Smuggler's Caches in other spots? Okay, we probably do actually need to fight you guys in the water with the crossbow. Hello, I know there's one of you directly overhead. Could you please, yeah, like, duck down? I think you technically did hit us, which is a little bit weird, but now we're certainly going to hit you. So, consider that our revenge. Also, there's someone behind us. Not anymore. Hello. Goodbye. That appears to be everyone for now, but there certainly will be more. Can we just, like, yeah, say get rid of all of you? And then we can focus on the sweet, sweet loots? Where did you go? You're here somewhere. There you are. There you are. Okay. Yeah, I did not realize at first that the crossbow... Okay, there are more. Hold on. I did not realize at first that the crossbow was one-shot kill. Oh! Carol was a little bit slow on the trigger there. But yeah, I was quite critical of the crossbow beforehand. And I also didn't know that you could auto-aim just by basically quickly tapping on the shoot button. So here I was manually aiming, doing like 1/100th of enemies damage, or 1/100th of enemies HP when I tried to hit them on land. I was like, why would anyone subject themselves to using this weapon? It's so terrible. It has no redeeming qualities. Besides, I suppose, yeah, you do get a little bit more range than like maybe an Igni might be the closest thing when it comes to doing damage from afar, and yeah, it definitely is a lot more range than that. But, I mean, it's just like, it would take so much effort to actually destroy anything on land with it. Can we actually make a landing here? I don't know. Maybe? The other thing that we've been doing is, on the rare occasion when we do have places to go on land, I try to summon Roach, because Roach does not get encumbered. So, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to climb mountains with Roach. But for the most part, we haven't seen too many of these little islands that are actually ones that we can go onto and find things. We have gone on to a few of them, but when we have, there generally hasn't been much of anything to actually loot or do there. What are we going to do if the boat sinks? Perish? We'll swim our way back. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. Yeah, is this the spot where we're... Nah, I don't think this is quite the spot we were trying to go on earlier. But it's perhaps even steeper still, at least once you start going there. So yeah, I'm thinking there's maybe a chance there's actually stuff here. But I'm still skeptical. Oh, well, there's certainly at least more Sirens. I think the big thing was, of course, that we got that loot earlier on by the little shipwreck where we were originally fighting all those Sirens. So I think that's the main thing. And then I'm hoping there isn't much else in this area, or if there is, it's so minor that it's not a huge deal if we pass up on that and head on over to our next question mark. Okay, now this Siren is presumably going to take notice of us any second now. Perhaps. I kind of want you to, so we can at least delete you. Not have to be concerned about your whereabouts going forward, although perhaps you will leave us alone. Maybe. Although as soon as I say that, I'm sure you're going to come back and haunt us for the rest of our lives. Maybe not. Oh, okay, confirmed. Yes, running over Sirens does cause the ship to take damage. It seems like it's kind of a little gimmicky, and that it doesn't always happen. It may be me, but it does seem like we are going considerably slower now. I do wonder if your boat actually gets slower as it takes damage. That might be a thing. I was saying earlier... Oh, okay, well, what we should do is not this. We should mark the next place on our map. That's what I meant to do. Which would be... I think this... Yeah, so, like, we're close to a harbor here. We could even deliberately go to the harbor, which is basically the boat equivalent of fast traveling. I mean, it's minor, but it also feels a little bit like cheating. Catch you later, Rumi. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, it seemed like previously we were running over, occasionally running over, or seemingly running over, drowners and the Sirens, and we didn't seem to be taking damage. At least, very rarely did we take damage. There was once or twice when it seemed like, okay, that might have been us running over the Siren that dealt the damage to us, but it was when we were right next to some of the other rubble near some of the loot stuff. So it wasn't clear if it was actually the monster that we ran over or if it was the plank of wood that dealt damage to us. But I think there was only a monster there, and we certainly took damage, so I think that does pretty much confirm that, yes, that is in fact possible. for you to take damage from doing that, although maybe not terribly likely, or at least it's kind of gimmicky where exactly the boundaries of the monster's body is. And then I was asking myself earlier, are we seemingly going a little bit slower in the boat because we are clearly encumbered right now, or is it because it is partially damaged? And the partially damaged thing was not originally what I was thinking, but it is perhaps worth considering. Oh, okay, well that one was just a little too fast for us. These are level 16. They're a little bit tougher. Shouldn't make much of a difference to the crossbow, of course. There's one somewhere nearby. Apparently, was that one? There are definitely more. That was not enough for us to be done here. Yep. Hello. 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 I think that might be all now. Yeah, but I think we might just need to do a little bit of a better job of not parking right next to the loot or right next to the monsters whenever we do encounter these places, and instead make a point of parking a little bit further away, doing a little bit more swimming, keeping our distance from the monsters, or at least with the boat. Then that way it's easier to steer clear of that stuff and not have to worry about, are we going to take damage from this? Are we not? Because otherwise, as we saw, you know, maybe the structural integrity of our boat does start to get called into question a bit. And if we are trying to make this work with just one boat, then I don't think we can take those chances. Because it's starting to get pretty beat up. And at this point, if we just look at our map, how much ground we have left to cover. We started in the northeast section near SKELLIGE, and we've done not the entirety of the east side. Probably still need to do a few more over here before we could say that, but I mean, what does that put us at? Maybe a third of the way through? Possibly even less, to tell you the truth. So, definitely still work to be done here. Yeah, our ship certainly looks like it has seen better days. She's gonna go straight into a museum when we're done with her. Okay, so we need to stay away from the corpses and the planks of wood and whatnot. And then I already forget if I marked the next spot on the map. I know we were just looking at it a minute ago, but okay, we did. Yeah, this one's a little bit further away. This is a little bit of a zigzag here, so you can make the case that it's potentially worth going to this one first and then this one. But I think because this is looking like this is going to be one of the biggest islands, I think, of the various ones that we've seen, that's not one of the main named islands that have quests on them, we could see some things around here on the actual island itself, and it might even be worth going a little bit further to check out these two islands over here. I don't know if this actually means anything here. This little discoloration there, I want to say it kind of makes me think that there's a coral reef there, but I might be making that up. It might just be completely insignificant. I don't know. But we will probably find out in time. So, yeah, we will see just how much weight we can, in fact, carry. At this point, we are well over 400, I think. Did we even check what exactly we picked up on that previous go-round, that previous looting session? We may not have. We may be approaching 450 at this point. We are approaching 450, at least. Any big things that we picked up? I think some decent crafting materials in terms of other loots. Some chest plates, I mean, those are going to be the things that are super heavy, right? At least if they're heavy armor, for sure. Medium and light armors, actually, even for chest plates, sometimes they aren't that heavy. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't totally sure how I wanted to approach going after all of these things in the water. I definitely, obviously I left it for last. And I was sort of telling myself, you know, we'll get to that on a future occasion. We'll get it all done in one fell swoop. It's a lot to do, though. Okay, so like this is an occasion where we want to stop and maybe even back it. Well, hold on, back it up a little bit first, ideally. Want to, you know, play it a little bit safer here. Except the sirens say otherwise. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're going underwater then. Time to fight them. I just shot randomly, and there actually wasn't anyone over there. So much for the auto-aim on that occasion. That might be all of them. No, there's still one more over there. But yeah, I wasn't totally sure if I wanted to necessarily go after every last spot, because it did seem like it was potentially going to be a little bit tedious to go through and find every single one of these places, especially if there are some... Okay, come on, dude. Come on, Siren. Especially if there were some places that weren't even marked on our map, and we had to just explore blindly and ask ourselves, do we think there will be anything on this unnamed island that looks like it might potentially be big enough to have something? And the answer to that question has generally been, for the most part, no. But on one or two occasions, yes. Come on, Geralt. There we go. It's like those are the kind of things where you could draw the line anywhere. You could say you just don't even want to do it at all. But I think that that was sort of the genesis of the whole let's see how much weight we can carry at one point in time. It seemed like it would take a lot longer if after every one of these trips we had to go back to town and sell stuff. There was one more of these, right? Which one did we not get? I forgot. We got this one. That one. That's the one we need. Yeah, but like if we had to go back to town and stop to sell things after every single one of these, then it just seems like that would drastically increase the amount of time that it would take. Geralt, don't hit your head on the chest. Please open the chest and take the contents of it. That is what I would like you to do right now. You insist on not doing that though, which is rather interesting. And at this point, okay, I saw the loot button pop up for a second there, but at this point, we actually need to surface, otherwise you are at risk of suffocating. Okay. Attempt number 2. There we go. There we go. Yeah, and so, you know, we've done the occasional check to see what we get in between these looting sessions, but I don't think we'll have a great idea of just how significant this stuff is until we actually do, in fact, go back and sell all of it and see, okay, did we get 1,000 coins? 2,000 coins? 10,000 coins? I mean, with the amount of space it's taken up in our inventory, I think any of the above could be the answer. Like, we want to back up far enough that we aren't going to actually hit those sirens. Just, back it up. Backing it up. And I think we're headed in this direction, but let's check. I think so. Oh, well, actually, we're going a little bit further this side here. Yeah, you know, like, selling 1,000 weight worth of materials. How much do you think that's worth? You know, it's an interesting thought question. So obviously, it's a lot more than you would normally carry. This looks like a pretty significant string of islands. Is that because we're pointed toward Pharaoh right now? I think it is. I think it is. It's like, sure, there are a bunch of little islands here and there, and we'll check those out if we haven't already. I suppose it's a non-zero chance that we've actually already been to some of these on our way to Pharaoh. We might have even fast traveled there and not boated our way at all. Okay, but this is an instance where I think it's a hidden treasure. It's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. It means there may not be enemies, but I think we do want to keep our distance a bit here to avoid crashing into any of the rocks. Does mean that at least for a little bit here, we are going to have to suffer the consequences of being encumbered, but hopefully we don't need to walk too far. Okay, well, so much for this being unguarded, because I did certainly just hear some monsters. Hang out in the water over there. Okay, well, this appears to be our spot. It's right on the marker. So, didn't really take much investigative work, other than us having to beat Tony Hawk. Come on, Geralt! One of these days. Notes about treasure. Okay. I've had enough. My father and brother think I'm nothing. All they do is laugh at me. They're always laughing. Saying my face is fair as a maid's, and I'm only fit for lying in bed with maids, and certainly not for battling with men. And one day, one of those husbands is going to break my neck. True, never have had much problem securing ladies' affections, but that's not something I asked for. Mary wouldn't let me leave her bedchamber, so we dallied until her husband, Norris Ironsides, and his mates came back with their lootings. I jumped into a wardrobe and stayed to listen, though it was uncomfortable as all get out. They said they'd sunk some great treasure ship by the rocks between Faro and SKELLIGE, and that come morning they'd intended to go fish it out. Once they'd drunk themselves to sleep, I slipped out of the wardrobe and told Mary we should slit all their throats, get that treasure ourselves, and leave these horrible isles. Go somewhere better. Kovir, or even Novigrad. Mary didn't take long to convince, because her husband was a true not-so-nice gentleman, and beat her terribly. So Norris and his mates are bits in a fish guts by now, and I'm off to find my fortune. Who cares that I'm not too skilled a sailor, and a storm's coming? I'll be done and gone before it hits. Well, I think we know how that one played out. But it does mean that we have a new quest. It is presumably a treasure hunt. Ironside's treasure. Find the sunken treasure using a richer senses. See where... Oh, okay. It's very close by on one of these other islands. Suppose does make sense that if he crashed ship, probably did so nearby, where the actual treasure was. I'm thinking we just shoot these guys with the crossbow. If Geralt would duck underwater, which he really does not want to... He actually is not diving underwater right now. I'm pressing the button to dive underwater. He refuses to do so. Are we so overweight that we can't do that anymore? I don't think so, because we were doing it before, and I think we have just as much weight as we had before. No, he just legitimately doesn't want to. And that was something that, on occasion, run into some issues with. Actually, tell you what, before these guys get close enough for us to technically be in battle, I think what we need to do here is I think the game is actually bugging out a little bit. I've had this happen on a few occasions where it does not let us duck underwater at all. It has actually gotten us trapped in some dungeons and under a well, I believe, was the first time. So before we get stuck in combat in a place where we can't actually duck underwater to use our crossbow, yeah, now we can actually do it. Okay, and this is the spot we're looking for, it would appear. Okay, you are one of the sirens in question. I thought there was at least one more. There is, in fact, at least one more. Is it close enough for us to shoot it? I do not believe that it is. Let us take this second, because we hesitated to shoot that siren there. Get the breath back. Now go back under. And now we'll actually look for whatever it may be down here. I'm assuming it's actually... Oh, hold on. Over here somewhere. Saw it. There it is. But are you serious? There we go. Okay, so this thing. This has the red glow around it, so presumably this is what we're looking for. Big sword. I think those are good saddlebags. And that is apparently the only thing we needed here, and we do need to surface. So let us do that, because we're kind of deep here. Okay. That could have been a decent sword. I think that is probably worth taking a quick check. Where is it in our long list of swords, though, is the other question. Should have had a star on it, but I don't think I saw anything that had a star on it. Was it this one here? If so, then it is probably not any better than what we're currently using. He's certainly not in terms of base damage. Extra experience and gold. Suppose if we were deliberately handicapping ourselves in the name of getting as much experience and gold as possible, then you could even perhaps justify that, but I think that might have been the new sword. And I do not believe it is worth us going for it. Okay, so this... While we're over here, if we just take a quick look to see if there is anything in this little alcove here, because this is looking like we wouldn't be able to make landing on any of these islands here. So be rather shallow. Maybe I think that there is perhaps even something else down here. For the most part, we've seen, I think just about all the time, we've seen that underwater, fair to assume that there's not anything unexpected there. You know, it's always going to have some kind of marker for that stuff. That would be pretty mean if you had to explore all of the ocean, both in the boat and diving underwater. That'd be pretty cruel. So thankfully, we don't have to do that as well. That would take quite a long time if we had to basically search everywhere twice. So I think we're good to go back into the boat now. And let's just count our islands here for a second and see which, if any, we may still want to check out that we haven't done so yet. It's like... So we went to this one, and this was the one that we were just swimming up to. It looked too steep to do anything on. There is still this one here, which might have something, and there's actually... Yeah, this is not Faro. This is a pretty darn big island that is nameless, or at least appears to be nameless, that I would argue is probably worth checking out. Because it's big enough that there could certainly be something over here. And that's also looking like that's going to be too steep for us to actually do anything there. This is a fairly rocky area, so we'll get a little bit closer. But we probably do want to keep our distance a bit here. And just trying to eye a good place for us to swim up to. And I think on the right / straight ahead, either one of those could work. So... that's new. Oh. We may have destroyed our boat. Because apparently this is... Hold on. It looked like there was a sandbar or rock over here when the game appeared to be bugging out for a second there, but apparently there isn't. So, take what you will out of that. But I think this is where we'll make land. And then this should be big enough for us to call Roach, in theory. Right? Roach? Please? Because this is definitely big enough for us to look around a bit. And I would not rule out that we could find something here. But it would really be preferable if we could use Roach to overcome the whole "you are encumbered" thing. But she is refusing at the moment. Up here? Roach? Alright, what distant island did we leave Roach on? Where is she? She is... Where is she? Oh dear. Where did we leave her? Do you see Roach? Because I don't. I don't. Doesn't say she's actually on this island here. We were on some of these little ones not that long ago. Has she just ceased to exist? Because it kind of looks like she's ceased to exist. Maybe the conclusion that we have to come to here. I regret to inform you, Roach is no more. Alright, so in that case, I mean, some of this stuff is awfully steep. So it will be difficult for us to climb that, whether with Roach or on foot. But if necessary, we could even try pulling up our boat from a different angle in order to get on here from a different side of this island. But for the most part, just trying to keep our Witcher senses on when we can and eyes peeled for other things that we might run into. Like, this is going to be next to impossible for us to climb, I would think. Okay, you gotta hop, Geralt. Otherwise, not gonna make it. Well, did. Somehow. That is, I think, still this island. And that does appear to be on land, which is interesting. It is still some Sirens. But the fact that it's on land does suggest that maybe there's a higher chance of them actually guarding something. Okay, one of them has seen us, I think. Maybe? I don't know. Don't do that. I would like to stay up here while we can, because it is harder to get up than it is to get down. Although, I think for the most part, we've done what we needed to do here. We just got to the other side of the island that we may have previously needed to take the boat over. We weren't able to mount that summit. Okay, one of them has taken notice of us. Confirmed. Could you just, like, come down here? Because the whole song and dance thing is not great for us when we are slow and can't dodge and dip, dive, duck, and weave and whatnot. There's another one there that's probably going to notice us pretty soon. I'm not sure why Geralt has insisted on taking out a torch. It is day. There's also snow, so there's certainly no shortage of light. And light getting reflected. Okay, one more siren down, and we'll that one any second now. We'll start fighting us. That is not the one that I thought we were about to start fighting. Hello? Suffocate you on your way down. Okay. Let us see. So I'm hoping there is actually something here of note. But of course, no way of knowing definitively just yet. You know, there's a chance it could be just a random little chest that happens to have something in it. Could be unmarked. Or we could find ourselves... Okay, no, that's just the siren. For a second there, I thought that was going to be something lootable. But we could find that there's some kind of guarded treasure or something like that once we get closer to the lower elevation area where it seemed that the Sirens were originally hanging out. There's another Siren directly overhead right now. Or at least was. Hello? You were too high. Press hit ya. Hello. That one did hit us. Alright, can you guys just, like, chill / come from the same direction so that we can actually get you both? We can still sidestep. Okay. My hope would be that that's most of them. But I think the main section that we've yet to explore, this little place here, is down in the section that I was saying we didn't necessarily want to drop down into earlier, for fear of us not being able to get back up. But now that we have, in fact, checked that stuff out, I think we're in the clear. It's basically just this area down here, and this, if there was something of note here, I would think it would be in this section. But we are about to find out. Here's another siren. I thought that hit you. Apparently that didn't hit you. That also didn't hit you. We do not have the stamina to hit you. Now we do. Okay, so, like, is there anything over here? Is my question. Also, can we actually... Now Roach decides to show up. Okay. Does make matters a little bit easier. Like, I could imagine there being something right up here.
Faster.
Actually, I was thinking about dismounting, but you could also go faster. That could work too. Nothing placed here. I don't know. This kind of looked
That's
like
it,
the
Roach.
most significant kind of place here.
Faster.
Really not seeing much, though. I don't know. I think it's a
Giddy up.
relatively large island with some sirens on it, but not anything else. Not that I can tell. I don't think
Move
I've
it.
seen anything. I suppose there was, of course, that additional quest that we had on the smaller
That's it,
island
Roach.
leading up to this place, but you thought that maybe,
Slower.
given how this was the big one, this might have the big
Run,
stuff.
Roach.
Roach, maybe don't run on this specific occasion, because, that
Go,
is a
go.
very steep drop-off. So on this occasion, I would actually be fine if you would just, like, chill.
Hey, ya.
Pushing the limits a bit in the whole navigation way. And we have seen Roach go underwater on at least one occasion, but I think we're probably good here now. Let's just take a quick look at our map and see if there's some neighboring landmass like this one. We might find something. I mean, there are the question marks here and here, so we know there's going to be something there, right? I think either way, we probably do head back to our boat now. And we just see? These are some of the places where we don't know if there's going to be anything. And like I was saying before, for the most part, when we've been looking at places that don't have any markers on them at all, we've generally come up empty. But on a few occasions, we have actually found some stuff, I think. So not entirely out of the question. Okay. Now, I am curious because it was bugging out as we were landing this thing, or docking, or whatever you want to call it, because we kind of, sort of, did that. That it was landing on a bunch of rocks and appeared as though it was taking a ton of damage. Okay, speaking of which, that's legitimately something directly in front of us right there. Please go backwards, Carol. Thank you. But we don't appear to have actually taken any extra damage from all that, so that's good to see. Okay, I do see a marker on that map, but I'm thinking that's just Roach. Or on that island, I should say. I think that's just because we abandoned Roach. Don't worry about it. She'll be fine. Don't need to be concerned about her. Okay, so this looks like a place where we can make landing. And, at least see if there's anything here. Which is more than you can say about some of the islands that are unnamed. So, initial sign is that this does bode somewhat well. But as for whether we can actually climb this thing, that's another question altogether. I'm waiting for one of these to have a place of power. One of these hidden places where, you would never really have any reason to go to. Never have much reason to suspect to find anything there. But then the reward is, hey, well done. You went out of your way to see what the deal was over here. We might fall to our death. We did not fall to our death. We're fine. I just want them to be like, hey, well done. Pat on the back for going through the extra effort of exploring the far reaches of the Earth to track down this location. We'll give you an extra place of power for it. And speaking of, nearly falling to our death, let's just save real quick. Just in case we do find ourselves getting into some sticky situations. And let's mark the actual next place we want to go to, which I think is this place here. Now, I did have some questions about whether there'd be anything here or on either of these places. And we are to do that, and I'm wondering, in terms of the order, does it make sense to do that now? And then that way we don't have to worry about going left and then right and then left again. That might actually be best to see what the heck this thing is. Does this mean anything? Because, hold on, let's just look at Unvik for a second. Because when we were learning about going to Unvik previously, people were all like, oh, it's so scary sailing to Unvik. It's dangerous. There are currents and reefs, and your boat's going to get damaged. So I was wondering if maybe there were some symbols on the map, some textures around Unvik that might indicate, okay, this is what a reef looks like. This is what an area with a current looks like. But not seeing this marker anywhere near Unvik. Have we explored anywhere previously that has that kind of stuff? I don't think so. Yeah, it looks like it's the only place that has that stuff. So again, it could just be a coincidence. It could just be a copy stain on the map, so to speak. But if it isn't, then I would like to know what it is. So we shall see. If not, then it probably is just pretty much open water. I actually don't know if there's a way to repair the boat. That's a good question. I don't think there is. So I think the main thing would have been that we've on a few occasions gone past locations where there were other boats in the water, and we could have just swapped boats and gone to one that's undamaged and use that going forward instead. Okay, so it is showing up on the map. And if it is a reef, then it could potentially mean, you know, taking damage by sailing into said reef. So I think we might want to try going on foot here, or by on foot, you know what I mean, not in the boat, and see what the heck is this? Why is this colored differently on the map? Is there something over here? Because it does look different on the map for sure, but on the surface, not seeing anything. Down below, I don't think I'm seeing anything. I mean, we'd have to swim awfully deep to make it to the bottom here. I mean, I'm still swimming down, and no sign of the bottom. So, I mean, it could be just the deepest water in all of Skellige, but in the interest of not drowning, maybe don't have particular interest in testing that theory any further. Maybe we could throw on our additional breathing potion. So I'm suspicious of it. But at the same time, we're here, and I'm not seeing anything. Which now makes me wonder, I don't know, it could be nothing. Or it could be maybe even something later on that we will, at some point in time, come to notice when future plot-related things come to pass that I don't currently know about. Don't know. I don't know. But at the very least, it does appear in that case as if it should be safe to sail over this thing. Because there aren't any rocks, or at least don't appear to be. There were a couple of little islands here. This one's actually not that little. So if we go there and then go to the littler one afterward, let's maybe check those out. Yeah, I'm guessing the bigger one... Oh no, the bigger one's actually this here. The littler one is over to the right there. So they look rather steep, which does perhaps suggest that it is unlikely that we'll actually be able to explore them much on foot. But only one way to know for certain as to whether there is or is not anything there. So we'll check it out. Because I think if not now, then when else would we do it, right? So we shall see. Okay, there are at the very least sirens. Several of them, in fact, many of them. I mean, we have run into random sirens on a few occasions. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything special here, but it does make things a little bit interesting, perhaps. Okay, let's face them in the water. Probably. This one might be close enough to strangle us. It was not. Okay. The other one's maybe too far away to see us. Yeah, there are a lot. I kind of like to get back in the boat and go a little bit closer before we start actually going solo. But we might still catch the attention of a siren or two before that happens, like as soon as I make it back onto the boat. No. Ah, okay, fine. We're gonna fight it this way, I guess. Or can we still do this? Oh. Okay. Caught in between fighting it with the crossbow in the water and fighting it with a sword in our boat. But okay, we have successfully shot it. It is no more. There is another siren. It is pretty close by. Maybe not quite as close by as I thought it was. So, fine. We'll just swim this. And yeah, this is extremely steep. To tell you the truth. Or at least, the elevation is extremely high. Higher than many of the other islands, I think. Maybe, I mean, on the end over there, certainly extremely steep. This might be something that we can walk on. Maybe not. Not really. I mean, if we could get up here. Don't think there's any real gimmick for us getting up a ledge of that steepness. So, I mean, we can try swim around a bit to the other side, but I am feeling as if we likely cannot do anything here. Because this is not looking much different on the opposite side either. We'll round the corner just to be sure. But, yeah, there's seemingly no way up this thing. So, I think for that reason... Oh, hello. There you are. I think for that reason... Oh, another one? Come out and play? Oh, Geralt decides to surface at the worst possible time. There we go. Now you can surface. It's fine. But yeah, I don't think we can do anything there. And then the other island is the one that I think we're seeing right now behind our boat. And that is also looking like something that we would be hard-pressed to find a way to ascend in any way, shape, or form. So I think that we probably... I mean, we could go a little bit closer to that, I suppose, just to verify. Hello, additional siren. Goodbye, additional siren. Would also be kind of cool to get a siren counter for this whole trip. Like, see... I think all the various things that would be interesting to know with our long excursion across the 7 seas of Skellige would be... maybe... How much weight... Okay, this is actually going to be quite dangerous. Don't want to hit them, because then the boat will take damage. I'd like to back this up. And then obviously we do have the intention of an additional siren. It is now doing this. Which I would like to... Yeah, stop it from doing that, preferably. And no scope it. But yeah, I thought we saw previously that actually didn't deal damage to the boat, although it certainly looks like it took damage from where that siren was just latching on. Because Geralt's butt is maybe about to get rather wet. But I swear, we had sirens that were hanging onto the boat for extended periods of time and not dealing any damage to it, but it may have been another one where that's the... I mean... Is it the exception? Is it the rule? This seems like it's not 100% consistent. Kind of like the whole running over the bodies of the sirens and drowners. So this looks like we might potentially be able to set foot on this spot in between here. But we're not going to be able to do much above and beyond that. If at all. Yeah, we can't even really get on that. So I think... both of those islands, not much of anything for us here. I mean, not only is the side of the boat completely destroyed, there may just outright be a hole in the boat. No, I think that's actually just... You're seeing the little floorboards underneath the seat. But yeah, she's seen better days. She's definitely seen better days. Okay, so now we've checked both these out. Next on the list would be this one here. And as we are getting to Pharaoh, which I think we will... I mean, we're actually... As we start doing these question marks here, we'll be arguably just as close, if not closer, to our Skellige over here than we will be to Pharaoh. That's it's an interesting thought as to whether, if we do want to make a landing, we could go on either of those. But what I was originally going to say was that that does mean that we will perhaps have access to switching to other boats if we would like. You can see there are a couple here on Pharaoh. And, well, I wanted to go as far as possible with just one boat, but things are looking rather dire at the moment. I think, you know, there's certainly... It looks like we would be taking on some water here. In the stern area. Oh, we also should be actually paying attention to where the marker is. And sailing in that direction. Yeah, if we could fix the boat, then this would be a great time to do that, but I'm not aware of any way to make that happen. So, I think we gotta make this work. As is. Or find a replacement boat soon. So, I mean, gonna be a challenge. Gonna be a bit of a challenge. Now, the next place that we have marked, that's a whale. 2 whales, actually. That were seemingly clipping into one another. But, pay no mind. Our next destination, though, I believe may be straight ahead here. This island that we can kind of see just in between the mast and the sail. With the boom and the sail. Yeah. That's looking like it. And we know there's something here. Because there is a marker on our map. As for what it will be, I mean, it looks like it is actually on this landmass. Which means that it may not necessarily be the usual smuggler's cache or something like that. Yeah, it's there already. Right in the middle. There are monsters here. Not sure what that sound was. Might have just been us hitting a wave. But those are, okay, drowners. A little bit different from all the sirens we've been fighting, so we might actually fight these guys on foot. And we know we can't pull up the crossbow when we're just swimming around. Okay, level 18, I mean, that shouldn't be a problem, but... Let's see. Hello, friends. How goes the things? Ow. I wanted to do the whirly thing.
Not good.
Please stop doing that. Please fry? Like an eagle? I believe that's all of them. So let us loot them. And I believe they can give, yeah, red mutagens, which are a little bit on the rare side, and we're still a little bit low on those, so that's not terrible. Greens and the blues, those are far more common, so don't really care about those too much, but... Okay. So we know the big thing is in the opposite direction, but let's just see if there's anything in this corner here. This might even be big enough for us to get Roach to show up. It is. Okay. That could be helpful.
Come on.
Negates the whole you are encumbered thing. Now, Roach can't jump, is the downside. Which does make things difficult. Even when we're encumbered, we can jump. So there is something to be said for that, although we did somehow get Roach up there. Okay, now it shows us the guarded treasure, as we're walking in the opposite direction, because reasons. I would like to believe that we've gotten the monsters that were guarding it previously, and now there's just the treasure part, but that does perhaps still remain to be seen as to whether there's anyone else hiding over in this direction. It does, at least based on the precise marker location, appear to be at the top of this thing, but that's not always terribly indicative. Sometimes it's a little bit of a more general marker for things in this area. Okay, this is looking like a little pathway around here, though. Oh, here's something. This might be it. Thinking it will be. Also, there's something for us to light there. Great. Yes, it is grayed out, so that was at least the chest that was tied to the marker on our map, but there is more space here. Let's just see if there happens to be anything else. Because unlikely, yes, but still possible that we might find something. Seemingly nothing there. At the top? I'm not seeing anything now. But again, like, wouldn't this be a great place to have a place of power? Where you just have one right up here and be like, oh, well done, you found this. Not this time, though. Not this time. All right. Okay. Don't worry about it. Oh, the ground dead are back, apparently. Can't keep them away for long. Okay. Put on the Igni so we don't take damage, or put on the Quench so we don't take damage, then we use it, as per usual. Oh, what? Where did you come from? You weren't dead? You're just chilling with 1 HP that whole time? And there's loot here as well. Okay. Now, did the other drowned dead return or not? I think not. Okay, and I know a while back you guys were telling me that, oh, Vids, you're always underestimating how many enemies you are there. You think they respawn and you got rid of them, and then just a few minutes later they come back, and then you said, no, just sometimes you miss some of them. You can't tell me on that occasion that we just missed some of those drowned dead. They absolutely respawn on that occasion. At least that time around. I'm sure you're right on some occasions, but on that occasion, they certainly respawn. Okay, let's see. So next, we will proceed to abandon Roach, and then check out this question mark here, and then I think we'll just make our way over toward SKELLIGE, and probably take these 2 question marks, and then this one, we'll do a little bit of a loop. It will be perhaps a little bit inefficient, because we will need to go west and then back east, but I think it's kind of hard to avoid that in this situation. So, one step at a time here. I believe the next one is going to be right off the coast of this landmass. So I'm suspecting this will be a smuggler's cache or something like that. Likely with more sirens, or perhaps drowners. But it might be this little shipwreck, it looks like, that we're seeing on the edge here. And again, I don't want to get too close with our boat. Like to keep it safe to the extent that we can, and then we'll just swim our way over there. It is, in fact, this. Spoils of War. Oh! I actually haven't seen many Spoils of War. I've seen very few, come to think of it. I mean, there isn't really much difference between Spoils of War and Smuggler's Cache, I don't think. Especially when they are both guarded by monsters. Is there another? Yeah, there's definitely more sirens here. The question is more so, are they in a location where we can actually hit them with a crossbow or not? The answer appears to be yes. Okay, there is another one. Perhaps make its way over here, but let's take this opportunity real quick to surface. Yes, like, what is technically the difference between Smuggler's Cache and Spoils of War? I'm not necessarily sure that I could tell you. Hold on. These sirens are going to cause issues. I think we probably do try to get rid of all of them before we get too caught up in looting. One more, I think, might be far enough away that it won't bother us. And this is looking like at least a chest. Maybe the only chest. Take this stuff and then see. Okay, it has grayed out, which would suggest that that is the primary, if not perhaps even the only chest for us to loot here. Quick Witcher senses check here, but not seeing anything. Let's surface, and I'm sure as soon as we do that, that siren will want to pick a fight. It's kind of doing its own thing now, maybe? I mean, I'm kind of deliberately swimming over there So I'd like to just get rid of it and be done with it, and not have to worry about is it going to try to follow us when we're back in the boat. But if that's it, then it has started to go off in the other direction, so perhaps we are fine. Oh man. Every time we look at the boat, even if I don't think it's actually taking any damage as of late, but it still does look like it's getting worse every time we see it. It's more so just that every time we see it from a different angle, we're like, oh yeah, it's been damaged there as well. Okay, so I think next is here. And I mean, we're approaching a harbor in Skellige. So again, if we wanted to take the easy way out, we could potentially switch boats once we get there. We are, in fact, going to need to go right by this siren. So let's see if it does, in fact, start to follow us. No, it seems to be going in the opposite direction, to tell you the truth. So we may be in the clear there. Okay. So we'll see what we get this time. Oh, and have we checked recently how much weight we have? I don't think we have. Let's take a quick look. Actually, the number's going up rather slowly now. I suppose, we explored some islands where we weren't necessarily sure if they were going to have loot on them or not, so although it's been a little while since we last checked, we haven't necessarily picked up a ton of loot since then. But, yeah, I mean, I would have thought we'd be a little bit closer to 500 at this point in time. 500 weight. Not there yet, though. A little bit disappointed. Thought we'd be doing better than that. Okay, oh, well, okay, this is just us saying that we are now technically at Skellige, even though we are certainly still off the coast of it. But yeah, you're going to see on the horizon there that the biggest of the islands is going to start to appear. Even if we're not necessarily looking to make a landing there. Okay, this is going to be coming up on the place that we're looking to go there. Okay, yeah, we can now start to see some of the stuffs. So let's just back this up a little bit. And hop in. And surely there are sirens around here, although not seeing any at the moment. Huh? Really? Do I hear anything? Surely it's not this simple. I don't know. Then again, Skellige is the island that you start on. So I suppose in some ways you can make the case that, well, you know, of all the places to be easy, make things more simple, straightforward, it would be Skellige. You know, do that before people start running into bunches of the sirens and whatnot. Save the difficult loots for the more remote and later islands. And there's one more over here, I thought. This one? Pretty sure we haven't gotten this one yet. Although it is not glowing. But we have gotten this one. There. Oh, were there only two? Usually there are three. I only think we've gotten two. Apparently there are only two, because this is grayed out now. Which suggests that we are done. So it does seem as though there are no monsters. So, sure. I mean, we'll take it. The sirens that we fight in the water don't drop loot, and I think we might get one experience per siren, which is basically insignificant. When we fight enough of them that you could maybe make the case that in total, they do actually start to add up to something. But let's take a look at where we're headed next. And the answer, I believe, will be right here. Yeah, and this will be the furthest in, or at least closest to Skellige of all the question marks here. And it does kind of require that we skirt our way around this spot that we were just looting without running into any of the barrels. And I think it might even be that what looks like a shipwreck over there, and I'm pretty sure it's a whale. In fact, it is. Looked like there was something over there. Well, two whales, in fact. Looked like there was like a barrel there or something. But maybe it was just part of the whale. Okay, we are actually closer to this place than I would have thought. And wow, okay, so we were talking about how, ow, there weren't any sirens in the previous place. Oh, now we got blood on the boat. We're talking about how there weren't any sirens in the previous location. There are a ton here. There's one of them. Super siren, in fact. There's another one over here. And maybe we take a quick opportunity to get some breath here. Duck back underwater, assuming that they're going to start ducking under as well any day now. Certainly, yes. As for which angle we should prioritize attacking them from, that somehow hit them. Don't think we deserve to hit them there, but sure. I think there are, yeah, still a couple more here. They are now underwater. So we will go back down to shoot them. And that one's a little too far away. Maybe come back? Oh, and then you went above the water. Okay, well, now? Yeah, I'm not... Oh, as soon as we approach it, it runs away. It gets out of the water. He really doesn't want to fight us. He can't chase you forever. Oh, and now there's... Okay, that one definitely looked like it spawned back in. That's just chilling there. In a generic equivalent of a siren T-pose, if you will. Please duck underwater so that we can shoot you. Otherwise, we cannot. They really don't want to make this easy, do they? Alright, fine. We'll just take the loot. If you insist, we'll just take the loot. Be that way. Fine by me. Here I was thinking that you wanted to fight. Guess not. That's fine. Okay, there's one of them down. One of the chests, that is. Usually there are three. Oh, now do you want to fight us? Perhaps? Oh, now there... Okay, now there are suddenly three of them over here. Like, there were not this many here before. There was one, maybe two, and they were off in the distance. Suddenly, there are three. Again, I go back to the, are they spawning in? Or were they all here to begin with question? And I say... There definitely were not that many here, because we had destroyed most of them. And at this point, we're looking to get back in the boat and get out of this place. But I would like to be rid of these sirens so we don't run into them when we're in the boat, where it is significantly harder to deal any damage to them. And the interesting thing was, we saw that shipwreck over there, but that was not the place where this was pointing at, or well, where the smuggler's cache was, of course. It's much closer to shore, which does make one wonder if it is perhaps worth seeing what the deal is. I assume it's over here, in these little rocks. Then again, of course, yeah, it's gotta be, right? Then again, you know why the ship shipwrecked, right? It's because it hit those rocks. And have you taken a look at our boat recently? Also, now the sirens decide they want to fight. Okay, I see how it is. And then they run away. Just make up your mind. Fight us or don't fight us. None of this tease us, showing up for a second, and then you don't want to be seen with us business. Because you're leaving us in... Well, there you are. In limbo. Okay. Somebody's underwater. Somebody was underwater. Okay. There's another one. Over here. Close enough to shoot you? Not quite. You're kind of swimming away from us. You are... probably sort of swimming away from us. We are eventually going to run out of breath. This is kind of what I mean. If you want to fight us, stick around and fight us so we can get rid of you. If you don't want to fight us, leave us alone so that we can be on our way and not worry about you chasing after us. Okay. So I think we try, if Garrett will decide to go on here. I swear, if you come after us now, I'm not going to be pleased with you. You are very close to going after us now. I think we try going near the shipwreck, and it may be the end of this boat. Ah, it's the whales again. They're all over the place. Almost as many whales as there are sirens. Yes, like this, I think is probably even close enough to the shore that we could just try going here from land, and we may have even done this already. Not entirely sure, because there certainly are shipwrecks off of our Skellige that we have explored previously. And this may be one of them. But I just couldn't say for certain. And I don't think we want to get too much closer than this, for fear of becoming our own shipwreck. So, let's check this out. I think this might even have been a quest at one point. This looks familiar to me. Of all the shipwrecks out there, that's just some herbs. And at this point, we are basically on our Skellige. I know it was saying that we were previously, and I was kind of like, oh, well, kind of, sort of, but not really now. I mean, basically, kind of, sort of. Oh, I suppose there's still a little bit of distance to the shoreline. But I think we had a quest that had us going into this boat. I think this was the one where we got stuck inside it for actually quite some time. In which case, probably reason to not try going in again, but let's just go a little bit closer to try to confirm one way or the other as to what exactly this place is. So yeah, I think I remember this. You can go through that little hole there. Oh, hold on. What? Yeah, I think there was a chest there. You saw it was glowing for a second, and then it stopped glowing. I think that's because this happens on occasion. The game sees the chest and goes, oh, there's loot there that you can take. And then it remembers, oh, wait, you've already taken that. Hold on, let me just remove that glow for a second. And then it goes away. So yeah, I think we have in fact been there, and I'm pretty sure that is the location where we did at one point in time basically dive underwater, go into the inside of the ship while underwater, get a little bit of loot, and then get stuck there. And so, for that reason, rather not try doing that again. I think that might just make life a little bit more difficult for us, so let's just forego giving that a closer look on this occasion, because yeah, I mean, I think we've done it anyways, so shouldn't matter. Yeah, especially with these huge waves. I mean, look at that. Our boat is like, at times, 25% underwater. And yet somehow, she's still shipworthy. Don't worry, lads. We'll see it through. She's still a fine boat. Okay. Now let's mark the next place where we want to go. And I think this is the part where we start going back east a bit, toward Faro, kind of, sort of. So we'll check this place out. And maybe this one as well. And then I do think we still have at least one thing to do on Faro. I think with this cave entrance, possibly with this cave entrance / monster den as well. So I think we'll probably make a little bit of a pit stop and do that. Now, as for whether we go to town and actually sell our nearly 500 weight units worth of stuffs or not, that is a question that we will have to ponder for a little bit, because, you know, I really would like to make it up to 1,000. And we're just about halfway there now, and we are probably still a little bit less than halfway through exploring all the stuff in the ocean. So that would lead me to believe that it may be possible. It may be possible to make it happen. but we would need to commit to it. We would need to... Oh, we've already been here. Okay, this is... No, hold on, hold on. This is a question mark that we already explored and looted and whatnot. We don't need to fight those sirens or super sirens. Yeah. So, I'd like to give that a shot. It would be cool. So we'll see if we can make it happen. Just means, can we get by? Oh, look at the way the sunrise is hitting the back of our sail. Glorious! But yeah, I'd like to see if we can make that happen. And it's just a matter of, are we willing to put up with being encumbered for a little bit as we go through what looks to be at least one, if not two, cave systems. We explored both of these, all of these islands? Hold on. Ah. Yes. Yes, in fact, we have. These are kind of like a little archipelago that stretches off the edge of Skellige. I do remember checking these out, and you can see, because we got that hidden treasure already. So we actually do have reason to make a bit of a sharper turn to the very edge. So we did not get the one at the very end. Where I vaguely remember at that point in time I was saying to myself, well, we were saying that at some point in time we would probably go out and explore everything in a boat. And this was kind of like, well, it'd be a long swim from the edge of that to this main island, or main is maybe a strong word to describe it, but this bigger island over here. And so I was like, well, yeah, we'll save that for when we go out on the boat. And the time has arrived. It does look like there's definitely some stuff over here. Obviously, there's some sirens, but even just looking on the landmass itself, and it looks busy. Okay, I'd like to fight you in the water. Pretty please. Stay away from the boat. Pay no mind to the boat. Leave it alone. It never did anything to harm you. It's innocent. Okay. Hello. I think there were additional sirens, so I wouldn't be terribly surprised if someone else sneaks up on us, but... Okay, this says guarded treasure, which suggests that there is perhaps a big bad monster hiding around here somewhere. I mean, it could just be various sirens. There are more of them. But I don't know. Yeah, it's not this. This isn't lootable. Looks like this is a easily climbable little ledge here. And again, the symbols on the map aren't always perfectly indicative of where on the landmass these places are. Okay, now this could be a problem. If we need to run and jump to get to that, then we can't do that while we're encumbered. It's close. It's surprisingly close. I would be very disappointed if our mission to get to 1,000 weight had to come to a close here because we couldn't make a jump while we're encumbered. That seems rather anticlimactic. I totally arted you there. Excuse me. That's more like it. There may be another way around. Because I think we're just kind of eyeing what the path looks like. So it's, you climb up here, then you're supposed to make a running jump up to here that we can't make when we're encumbered. And then this path kind of keeps on going in this direction. So I'm wondering if we could maybe get a bit of a shortcut if we were to try to just go around this way. And Roach may be able to help us with that a bit. This is pretty steep, though.
Slow now.
That also looks like that might be a running jump that we need
Faster.
to make. Hold on.
Slow now.
Where is the actual thing that we need to get, though? Can I dismount from here? Will you let me? Can we jump this? 'Cause if we could just get straight up onto that, that would be huge, I think. Really, anywhere on this side of the island, if we could jump directly onto it, that would be ideal. Because that might sort of mean that we don't need to do the whole obstacle course-like stuff. Apparently there is, yeah, a siren that is taking interest in us. though. Care to come down? I mean, we could, of course, do this. You made me. Actually, further in this direction than I realized you would be. Also, we can't jump when we're in combat. But I take it back. On this occasion, we can, in fact, jump while we're in combat, or at least climb that. And this might be just where we want to be. We may have found way up that we were looking for. Because I think this is the section that we were looking to jump to before, unless... Not sure if we're trying to jump from there to here, or from here to there, if you know what I mean. I mean, this section is seemingly further away from the marker on our map. Yeah, and there isn't really anything over here. Unless we can get really clever. Oh, hold on. We might be able to get really clever. Let's try. Let's... No, Carol! No! Don't fall down now. Where's the siren? Did that hit you? That did not hit you. That hit us, though. Oh, come on. Give me another chance. Yeah, oh! I hit you with the hard. Also, I'm pretty sure we can't actually get you from here. So, like, we'll fry you, I guess. It's gonna take at least one more of those to take you out, though. Do you want to come back? And get close enough for us to actually hit you with that again? That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, well, don't fall down here. Don't fall down here. What? Your friend? We didn't ask for your friend. They weren't supposed to come here. I don't really want to drop down here all that much because I'm concerned about us potentially losing. No! Our vantage point. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, Carol. Yes! He's done it. Okay. I think we may have... No, there's more for us to jump. No! Wait, I have an idea. Let's save. I have an idea. I don't necessarily think that we need to abandon our 496 weight units worth of stuff permanently. However, maybe there's a temporary solution to this problem by, say, dropping our bazillion pieces of armor and weapons just for a moment, so that we can in fact make that jump, and then we'll jump back here, we'll pick all of it back up, and then we'll be back on our way, and we'll still have all of our stuff. It's just a temporary lightening of the load, so that we can, you know, make a daring leap across this gaping chasm. I think that might be our only solution here, because we did, in fact, I think, find a way to make our way much of the way through this mini obstacle course of sorts, but I don't think there's going to be any way around doing it here. I think we, if we do want to get this thing, do legitimately need to make a running jump, and there's no way around that. So, we might be here for a little while, because we have a lot of stuff to drop right now. But, and watch how slowly our weight number goes down. I think it's largely because right now we're dropping the weapons, and the armor is heavier, generally speaking, than the weapons. So, this is not going to drop us all that much, even once we dump all of our weapons. It's going to be primarily the armor, and then maybe even a little bit of the saddles. I think we have picked up a fair amount of those as of late. So, those are pretty heavy. Normally, they're so unusual that you get them that they don't add up that much. But I think at this point, we probably have a fair number of them. So, and look at this. We're already below 200, or below 300 at this point, into the 200s. It's still many more to drop. How many chest plates do we have? That's part of it. It's just the chest plates tend to be heavier than every other piece of armor, understandably. And we have primarily chest plates. Okay, well, maybe it's just organized by what type of armor they are, because that was a bunch of chest plates in a row. Now we're getting a bunch of boots in a row. And we're starting to see the trousers. We'll leave the fancy shoes for now, because there's always time to have style. Always time to have style. Yeah, now we get to the gloves. Okay, this makes sense. It is, in fact, getting organized by item category, at least a little bit. But there we have it. We are now under the threshold. And, oh my goodness. Just take a little look here. Oh, we also dropped... Hold on. That's our Witcher sword. I want to make sure... We're not going to drop that. Because in case the game bugs out at all and it's like, you can't have 50 items located in one spot like this. We're going to delete some. I really don't want them to delete our Witcher sword. So, we're hoping that all of our stuff here, and I mean all of our stuff, the list goes on, stays here, even after we take our brief little excursion to this guarded treasure. But, if not, then it was nice knowing you. I mean, I did deliberately save right before dropping all this stuff, just in case. I did not mean to do that. But, we'll head back here. Okay, there we go. That could have been us, if we tried to make that jump with all the gear. Okay, runestones, the adversary, new sword, boots, lunar shards, sapphire dust, and florins. And it is now grayed out. It's not directly on top of us. It's a little bit further in that direction on our mini-map, but yes, that was in fact the thing we're looking for. Okay, so now we just drop down, and we do need to still make this jump. And do we still have everything here? For a moment, I was worried. For a moment, I thought we were not going to be able to take all this. But, here we go. Don't mind us. Honey, did you leave the forks and spoons out? Did you, like, dump the dishwasher out onto the ground or something? What is that horrendous sound? There we go. Back to being encumbered, as we should be. Oh man, we're at 499. Darn it. Not quite there yet. I mean, we can take the Sirene loot. That stuff won't actually have weight, I don't think, because that's just crafting materials. Dropping down. Interesting question. How does one do it without dying? Maybe worth saving here as well. Just in case. I think we actually came up this way. It doesn't necessarily mean it is the safest way down. Hey, Geralt! Ooh, making me nervous. Okay, there is, in theory, 4 Siren loot right here. But I think... mission accomplished, actually. I think we did manage to pull that off, and we got all of our stuff back.
Whoa there, Roach.
So... yeah. All according to plan, I guess. Sorta. Alright, now where did we actually leave the boat? Is the next question. We do still need the boat. That much is important. Okay. So I'm thinking we go... let's nab the boat. That's next. There were some sirens around here that were hanging out but did not actually start fighting us. And now they are doing just that. Please take out your crossbow, Geralt. You are not willing to take out... you cannot take out your crossbow now, says the game. Okay, thank you. We are doomed. We cannot defeat this siren that is about to catch up to us and drag us underwater and deal damage to us. Maybe now that we are deeper? No, I am pressing the crossbow button. Oh, it's because I was over the torch. I was trying to light a torch underwater. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Okay. Now that we have returned to Le Boat, let's mark this question mark. And at that point, we'll have just about everything on the east side. I mean, like, you're drawing a line down the center of Skellige, it's probably more like around here. So, like, maybe, you know, you can make the case that these things, these question marks here are still also on the east side, and so we might need to get those as well. But at least we've got a large fraction of the question marks, okay? Don't rain on my parade. Okay, and also don't run over the sirens. Not now. We've gone too far. Okay. So this one I think is a little bit distant here, because this is... Yeah, I think there's, as we were just seeing, really only one other question mark in this general area, and then there's a large space in between them. So this would be another situation where if you wanted to make the case for using some of the harbor areas to fast travel on your boat, this would probably be a decent time to do it after we get this one done. But do we want to take that shortcut? Is it cheating? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we feel once we actually get to this place. Okay, it is starting to show up on the map, and we are starting to see enemigos, some variety. Are they drowners or are they sirens? Because I'm not actually seeing them, despite them being on our map. Yeah, they're drowners. Would have thought they'd be a little bit easier to catch if they were sirens. You know, what with them flying and everything. Okay. So there, I would imagine, are probably a few more drowners than the ones that we saw there. Yeah. That did not hit you. You are a little too distant, apparently. Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we can get one of these before having to go up for air. Ooh, those look decent. A couple of relic rarity thingamabobs. Get the breath back. Another one over here, and then there may be a third one as well. Usually there are 3, but we have seen on occasion there being just 2. Ooh, another relic rarity sword, and okay, that is the last of them. The marker is grayed out. So I have to imagine, given how we are on 99, or 499 weight earlier, this has to have brought us across the 500 weight threshold, but we'll check once we make it back into the boat, and look at some of the stuff we just picked up, because some of it looked like it could be quite good. Relic rarity, at least. Does somewhat depend on the level of the items. Yeah, like, we'd like to ideally take out the monsters a little bit further away from the boat, because now there's this question of, like, how do we back this thing up without bumping into you guys? It should be doable, but you never really know, because the boat sometimes is a little bit finicky, and the hitboxes on those monsters' bodies, you never really know what it looks like. Okay, but I think now that we're back in the boat, let's mark Pharaoh, because we do want to check out, I believe it's both this entrance and this monster den. It might be that we've done one of them, but we'll confirm, because I think, if not now, then when? And then let's also take a look at the stuff that we just got, and yes, we are, in fact, a bit over 500 weight now. Okay, this was one of the ones that we just picked up. Oh, well, actually, yeah, everything is highlighted now. Everything has a little asterisk on it, because we did, of course, pick up everything when we dropped it all. So, it's going to be a little hard to tell which one we just got. The adversary we got on the island, I think. The island that we just recently went to. It does have decent damage, and critical hit damage bonus for a silver sword. Ooh. Yeah, I actually like this better than our existing sword. I know it's, just magic rarity compared to relic rarity, but higher damage, much higher crit hit damage bonus, which is the big thing that we're focusing on, because we have a lot of crit damage. And then chance to cause bleeding is, sure. I mean, we had a 1% chance to freeze on our existing sword, but that wasn't really doing much for us, so I think we make the switch. And then it is a little bit beat up, so we presumably would want to throw a little bit of a repair on it, although our repair kit is going to be buried deep down after all this stuff. Let's see, I think it had 65% durability, meaning that a 40% repair is a little bit overkill. Do we maybe wait a little bit longer if we want to be min-maxing the repairs? We wait until it's at exactly 60%, or... Oh, hold on, that was close. closer than it should have been there, and there is a drowned dead sneaking up on us. But they tend not to be as aggressive pursuing the boat as the Sirens are. Actually, not even sure if they will attack the boat directly, or if it's just Geralt, but yeah, we'll wait until our new Silver Sword's a little more beat up, and then we'll repair it. But we'll head back to Pharaoh, and I mean, we could just make landing at the closest point of Pharaoh. There's something to be said for that, but we'll try to make an effort to basically go to the specific section that we're looking for, where we are looking to pop into those caves, because this will be far and away the biggest island that we've been to thus far, of course, what with it being one of the actual main islands that you visit for the quest, part of other quests. I guess actually the main quest never goes here, does it? I don't think we actually went here for the main quest at all. Or some side quests for it, of course, but okay, now you do technically say that we are at Pharaoh. Once we are an arbitrary distance away. Have we looked at this little island here? Well, I mean, it's so tiny. You can basically see it all from here. And, I mean, we could try popping onto it, because it actually does look like we could walk onto this. But it's so small. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to jump. For a second. I was wondering if there's like maybe one little chest hanging out at the top, but I don't think so. And that really looked like the shadow of a siren flying over us, but I'm not seeing any sirens on our minimap. No red dots. I'm a little bit confused about that. But, alright. Just, you know, ghosts of sirens. Maybe it's our ship? I don't know about that. Either way, onward we go. And we do get to see the, or hear, I should say, the difference in the songs whenever we do get closer to one of the other islands, because they do seemingly all have different musical scores. Like, this is really good. I mean, so overall, I would say, at least of the places we've been to thus far, I think has had the best music thus far. There have been some really good ones in the area. Okay, so this is one of the caves. Just check. This one is not technically a monster den. This is just entrance, I believe. We did find something here in this general area previously. There's a chance that we have already done this one, but I thought this was the one that we poked our head into, then asked ourselves, is this a place where there's a Witcher contract? Maybe. If so, then let's not go all the way in for fear of messing that potential quest up. And this was another scenario. Let's save now, just because we're about to go into this place and we don't necessarily know what we're going to have. But this was another scenario where we were saying earlier, we could potentially drop some of our equipment in order to not be encumbered, because we're potentially going to be on foot for a little while now. Can we bring Roach in here? I know it's a cave. But who says you can't bring horses into caves, right?
Go.
Yeah, there are definitely monsters in here.
Whoa.
Whoa, indeed. On second thought, I think we're gonna need to do a lot of swimming here, which means it's gonna be kind of tough to do this stuff with Roach. Okay, yeah, we do need to go underwater, and this is looking like cat potion and or killer whale for the swimming stuff. Could be helpful right about now, because oh goodness, where are we going? I don't know. Hold on. We need to be able to breathe underwater for longer, and we need to be able to see, are the two things that come to mind right now. So let's make that happen. Otherwise, we might be about to just swim ourselves underwater to our death. Run out of breath is what I mean. In case that wasn't clear, killer whale and superior cat. Those are things we want. Okay, so we want cat is underwater breathing, or rather night vision. This is underwater breathing. Okay. So I don't recall as to which direction we actually came from, but let's just... This looks like the direction where the enemies are. Whoa! Venomous Arachis! That's not what I expected to... Ow! See. I was expecting drowners, and we are frozen right now. And by frozen, I mean stuck in a web. Okay, this will be interesting. that probably was highly venomous stuff that would have hurt us a lot. This also will be. It's level 31. We are level 26. This could be quite difficult. I mean, this is going to be a high-level enemy as well as just a mechanically difficult enemy. And there are multiple of these Endrigas. Okay, so this is gonna be tough. Make no mistake. And trying to find a way to thin the pack a little bit would be great. And not get hit by various poison attacks. I mean, so they all can deal poison damage. All these guys can. Basically, all those projectile-looking attacks, those deal poison damage. Ow. And we are currently getting poisoned quite badly, in fact. Quite badly, in fact. Hold on. We need food badly. In theory, we are trying to heal right now, but we are taking more damage than we are healing, and this is a bad corner to get pinned in. And we are now healing more than we are getting damage from poison. But I just want to try to get rid of some of these guys. Make it so that we aren't totally outnumbered here, because that's a problem. This is, speaking of problems, this is one of them. I'm trying to break free of this. I think you can mash buttons to try to break free of that, but that's also going to be bad poisony stuff. Yeah, this is not really, like I said, not really what I was expecting to run into here. Okay, one down. One of the little ones down, that is. We are also encumbered, of course, as you know. Which does mean that we are less mobile than we would like to be at this point in time. Okay, two down. Two little ones down. Thinking if we can get rid of the little ones and then go for the big one, that's probably the way to go here. That way, we are, again, badly poisoned. But that way, we don't have to worry as much about the whole numbers disadvantage thing. Okay, did we get hit by that stuff? I don't think on that occasion we did. Okay. I think we may have gotten rid of one of the other little ones, just the poison or the bleed damage that we recently put on with the sword that we just started using. Okay. Get on a Quinn. Not sure how much that really helped us when it comes to poisoning things. Okay, our cat potion is worn off, so we've lost our night vision. If you're wondering why things suddenly look darker, that is why. It is now, in fact, just the big one. Ow. We did have our shield on for the first hit. Then we got kind of stunned and pinned in a corner. Okay, let's read up a little bit here. Now that we have just the big one remaining, and see what we can learn about what we should do. We should put on a oil for additional damage against insectoids. That would have helped us earlier, of course, but still relevant as we're going against the big one here. Let's see. We're looking for venomous. Barely nicked me. I'll be fine. Last words of an unknown hunter. Though all Arachnidae are highly venomous, this breed produces an especially strong toxin. A few drops are enough to kill a grown man, unless that man is a witcher, whose mutations will neutralize small amounts of this venom. Large quantities, however, will kill anything they touch, with mutations only prolonging an inevitable and painful death in such instances. Venomous Arachnidae produce colossal amounts of this toxin and deploy it during combat in many ways. Before striking a venomous Arachis, will cover its pincers and teeth with a thick coating of this deadly liquid. So yeah, even like the physical attack will still poison us. I think we've seen that a bit. It will then squirt the venom at it to its opponent to weaken it, and once locked in direct combat, will continue spraying the noxious ooze all around itself, meaning every breath brings its victim closer to death. Like other members of this species, venomous Arachnidae use prehensile feelers to grab and immobilize their prey. When attempting to fight such a creature, a witcher should drink Golden Oriole, that's the poison immunity or poison damage-reducing potion, which will reduce his body's vulnerability to its poison, and then attack from a safe distance with crossbow or bombs, or dealing the finishing blow with a silver sword with enhanced coating for insectoid oil. Okay, I think what we do here, So you put on the insectoid oil. That's the easy one. That's the straightforward answer. Probably should have done that from the get-go. But still relevant now. As long as we track down which one it is. There you are. Okay, throw this on. And we were saying earlier that we would wait to repair our sword until it was at 60% or less durability. And well, it's at 57 right now. So we can throw on that 40% repair and give ourselves a little bit more damage that way as well. So that can help. Where's the 40% one? It was, we just saw it. Not this one, this one. Okay, so now it's basically fully repaired. And the other thing that they were saying was the explosives. And if we go with this, freeze you. Oh, did I miss that? I did miss that, didn't I? I would have loved to have hit you with the freezing one. Like this. I do like the freezing one quite a bit. You have frozen us in place with your webs, which is unfortunate. Fortunately, we got rid of your friends, which means that you can't really do much to us, even in that circumstance. Okay, and can we get you with another one of these? Just kind of want to, you know, like wait for the poison to not be all around you anymore. That might have missed. That did not miss. Please attack it, Daryl. It is in a defensive position. Can we ignite you? We can ignite you. Can we destroy you? We can destroy you. Success. Whew. Alright. Geralt is still quicker than most Dark Souls characters. I actually have never played Dark Souls. I know a lot of that comes down to the dodge rolls and timing those and positioning those in such a way. I mean, we're still seeing a red mark or two. Suggesting there are potentially still additional enemies here, although I expect they may actually be above us, since we are obviously in a cave right now. So I'm hearing some stuff. Also didn't take note if we picked up anything particularly interesting after looting the special Arrakis, which I should have done. That's the real interesting part. Is when you do run into those rare enemies, and that was certainly a rare enemy. I think that's the... I want to say the only time we fought one of those guys before. Maybe the second time. We have fought a few special Arrakis of various varieties before. But I don't think we've done a venomous one before. We've done armored on a few occasions, I think. That's probably the most common one. But not venomous, I don't think. And now the question becomes, do we try to explore this place any further? Is there anything else for us to do here? Because it was a little bit difficult to navigate this place when we were throwing on our killer whale and cat potions and whatnot. How are we doing in terms of toxicity? You can see that here, I thought. Can we not? I mean, I'm not seeing it on our HUD at the moment. Does that mean that we legitimately have none? Not seeing it? Because I mean, we did pop a couple of potions, the killer whale and the cat potion, not long ago. So I just don't want to, you know, like kill ourselves by drinking too many potions just because we want to see in the dark. Which seems kind of silly. So that's an interesting sound. Okay, I think let's do one of them, or we could even check like how much toxicity do they have, just to gauge what is the likelihood of us actually taking ourselves out. This is 15. Okay, so that's very little, as is cat. Okay, that makes sense, because they're mostly just convenience flasks. They're not really, you know, like, no one's going to become extremely overpowered by using both of them simultaneously or spamming them like crazy. So now we duck underwater. And let's see. Yeah, I think... So that's the way we came in, I'm pretty sure. Question is, we try going to any other little pools here. can we check out any additional locations, or can we only go back the way we came from? Like, this looks like, oh, a dead end, except, hold on just a second. A chest that we unlocked with something, I don't know what, but it was glowing red, suggesting this was actually tied to a quest? I don't know what quest. Didn't get any quest updates when we looted that stuff. Wasn't like, you have now completed, insert treasure hunt here. So, I mean, good thing that we did check it out, but, not entirely sure what that was all about. And I'm not seeing any other sections for us to duck down underwater, I don't think. More herbs, but those are not terribly rare, so I think we are good in that case to head back. Let us take a dip. Okay, and then we're going this way. And we'll see if there happens to be anything underwater to loot, but I'm doubtful. Don't think so. Take a quick look in that direction, but not seeing anything glowing, so I think we're good. Head back this way. Here real quick. Not seeing anything there either. Roach is chilling. And we're good. Okay, and we could even make a point of putting on the potion that cancels out other potions so that we aren't trying to see in the dark when we're outside in the middle of the day. Let's see. Find me where that one is. Not that. This one. Okay, let's get rid of Clear Whale for now. And then do this. No longer trying to see in the dark.
Go.
In the middle of the day. Then again, we are perhaps about to head into an additional cave. I think we can easily say that that was one that we did not go into before. Because obviously we still had those Arakase we had not fought. There is one more cave in this direction, a little bit further, down on Pharaoh, that we were not 100% sure. Did we do it? Did we not do it? I don't remember. But we will seek to confirm that. No worries. Thanks for stopping by, Joel. Have a good night. Okay. So, I believe it's further in this direction. I should just mark it on our map. And I'm pretty sure it's just a ways further down. It is. And another instance of there being a boat that we could switch to if we felt that it was necessary. I don't know. I mean, the thing that feels like it is... I mean, most damage is avoidable, right? Like, if we just make up a habit of staying a little bit away from the smugglers' caches and not running over the enemies that we fight, even when they do go a little bit out of their way to try to track us down, we should be able to avoid most, if not all, damage. The thing that makes me a little bit concerned is once we start getting near Unvik, then we start approaching reefs and areas with currents that, for the most part, we just managed to avoid altogether when we originally went there. But I think we're going to need to get near / go directly on some of those reefs to finish looting some stuffs. And so I think that we probably will be much more prone getting our boat damaged that way when we head back to Unvik. Thought we were close enough here that this could be our stop, but let me just verify. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So let's check this out. It says it's a monster den. There are a lot of sirens over here. I do kind of remember this one as well. Let's call Roach again. maybe even some harpies over to the left as well. But yeah, this one... Okay, well, now we're finding something. It is one of said harpies. Can we... Oh, I punched you. Okay, there we go. Roach is quite confused. So, what is in here? Have we been in here? I hear other insect-like sounds. Those may be above us? Oh, no. Okay, I do remember this place. We have been here. This was a place where we went in, we saw these stone tablet-like things, statues, whatever you want to call them, and we said, well, they're glowing red, so they're clearly associated with some kind of quest, and there are the levers over here, and we were saying to ourselves, I think they do move these things around, but we were saying, this really gives off the vibes of a place where we're supposed to go in the future, but not now. And you guys may have even confirmed that in chat/comments a while back, but I mean, at this point, we're talking like a month ago. So I'm almost certain that was the conclusion that we came to there. So I think we're fine for this cave entrance. In which case, I think we're good for everything on Pharaoh. Just do a quick double check here. That is strange, though, that the Monster's Den still says that it's glowing. Or, well, it's white. It's not grayed out. Which suggests that we haven't completed it yet. However, I do think that we got an achievement a while back, for finishing all Monster's Dens on Skellige. Pretty sure. And that would suggest that, well, that means there aren't any Monster Dens remaining on Skellige, so why is this one still lighting up here? I don't know. That's why I ask. But I still think we're good. Because I do remember that I think we were asking ourselves the same kind of question first time we went in this direction. And we fought a bunch of those harpies, a bunch of those sirens, and we said, sure. We don't see your nest, though, even though it says there's something here. We don't really know what the deal is about that in that case. So we'll head back to the boat. Again, Shadow of the Sail or Siren? I think the answer is Sail. And let us check out where to next. There are like tiny little islands here. Actually, that looks like an island we can go to, the one below where our marker is right now. I'm trying to go down. It won't let me. So that is beyond the edge of the world then. And I was going to say, like, this down here as well. Also can't go down any further. The one that's below Fair over here. Presumably that's beyond the edge of the world as well. Which means that at this point, we are looking at going to this question mark next, I would think. Which is, yeah, I don't know if you want to call that more Skellige or Unvik territory. Maybe a little more Skellige, but we're gonna be getting awfully close to Unvik awfully soon. This one's gonna be a bit of a trek here. This siren maybe have to pick a fight with us.
Miles and miles
Yeah.
and miles.
See, that guy just went a little bit south. And, yep, it's already trying to kick us out. I mean, I'm not trying to go in this direction. I will have you know. I'm trying to go in the opposite direction. Please let me go in the opposite direction. I will ride toward Pharaoh. There we go. Okay. Now I think we're in the clear. So this one might be our longest trek yet, because we basically need to go the length of the Isle of Pharaoh, or most of it, and then a reasonable distance, basically halfway across Skellige and much of the way toward Unvik. I don't think we'll be at risk of starting to run into any of the crazy conditions that are near Unvik, because I think we'll still be far enough away. That stuff won't happen yet. I think that's mostly to the north and east of Unvik. not so much directly to the east or southeast, which is more so the angle that we'll be coming from here. And I think we did already check out these little islands on the edge of Barrow earlier, and we were saying, despite looking like we might have been able to get on them, this smaller one that's a little bit closer we weren't able to, and then the bigger one that's a little further away, there was not anything on there. So we're clear there. But yeah, I think we won't run into any of the Unvik-related natural disasters for a little while, because we did, on our initial trip down to Unvik, deliberately make a little bit of a... what's the best way to phrase it? We didn't go, like, the most direct route to Unvik. We deliberately went around some of the reefs, and for the most part, I think maybe even avoided some of the currents as well, because at least... I think there were a few occasions where I suspected that we were experiencing it a bit. Did feel like I was fighting some kind of momentum trying to take us in a different direction. Part of it felt like, you know, maybe it was just people that we were talking to in our SKELLIGE were telling us that that existed, so maybe it was all in my head. But I think at least to a certain extent we were experiencing. Yeah, I also didn't know how extreme it was going to be. Was it like, once you enter this area with the currents, there's no controlling it? Like, you are just entirely at the whim of the ocean? Or is it just, okay, you know, it will fight you a bit, but if you point yourself in a different direction, then you can still overcome it? Either way, that's something to bear in mind for the future, I think, but on this occasion, we should be pretty alright. But I think this is probably a good time to start breaking out the sea shanties, so, where's Dandelion or Priscilla when you need him, right? Not this time round. Perhaps one of the few times when Geralt would welcome their presence. Well, I mean, Geralt does give Dandelion a hard time, but they're still friends, right? You know. Okay. Oh, this is a place that we've actually already been to. A previous question mark. You can see all the rubbly stuff there. Let's just double check. Where exactly is that? Yeah, was this the last one that we did before checking out the Pharaoh stuff? I think so. I think that was a recent, very recent excursion to do that, but maybe not. That means we're getting closer, but still a little bit of ground to cover before we make our way over to the next location of note. So yeah, any terrifying stories of the Seven Seas? Stories of how the Loch Ness Monster actually ate 6 of your crewmates, and you had the choice of going that route or instead facing a ginormous whirlpool that was sure to consume the entirety of your boat, and you said, you know what, I'll take losing 6 crewmates over losing all of my crewmates and my boat, because at least we have some chance of making it through if we lose only 6, and if we're quick, then hopefully it's just that, and this totally fictional creature that definitely is not some mixture of the Loch Ness Monster and Scylla from the Odyssey will not attack us twice and get rid of another round of people. Something like that. Let's take a quick look here. How close are we getting at this point? Well, we're about halfway between a little more than halfway between the section that we were just in, or the question mark that we just passed, and the one that we're looking for now. But of course, a watch... What's the expression? Watch... now I don't remember. Huh? It's just me? I thought I heard someone. Maybe it was like the creakiness of the actual mast and whatnot. Sail. But, I thought I heard a person. Okay, this is presumably going to be the thing we're looking for. This boat here, which doesn't look nearly as in flames as the most recent boat that we encountered. Will it have sirens on it, though? On and around it? Okay, either way, we do want to keep our distance here. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, that'd be a little too straightforward. We didn't have to do anything special. Okay, not sure why the I don't know if textures is technically the right term, but oh, hello, Siren, who's actually right next to us. But, yeah, the ocean doesn't look right, to put it simply. Let's pop up real quick for some air, because we're actually quite deep. There are still more Sirens. But I'd like some air. Okay. Hearing / seeing some of them again. They don't appear to be close enough to be showing up on our mini-map, so I think none of them are an immediate threat, at least. Okay. We make it over to this one. That was still glowing for a second. Made me hesitate. I think we can still get to this guy before we need to pop up. And there is still one more, seemingly. Because it's not grayed out yet. Okay, we got this one. We got that one. The one close to our boat. This Siren is presumably going to see us. Oh, that's not where the Siren was. Except maybe it was? It didn't look like it was. Ah, it's over on the other side of the boat. Okay. But of course. Those do look like siren nests there. So if ever there were a time when we could, in fact, go up on the boat, it would seem like this could be an interesting time to try to do that. Well, we did not have any success with that on the previous occasion. Here, Brigade Armor. Relic Rarity. Alright, alright. Yeah, it's not like it's saying this is a monster den. Those are the Sirens. Are they gonna try to mess with us, or are they just gonna chill and ring around the rosy down there? It looks like they are content with their nursery rhymes right now. In which case, I think we are free. Keep on moving here. Let's just save, because it's been a little while. And we've traversed a fair bit of ground here. By ground, I mean water. And now we're starting to get to the point where we're approaching some other islands that are not named. And I mean, maybe you could make the case are sort of part of the greater Unvik area. I think of these more when I think of that. I think this is sort of like the area that people were warning us about with all the reefs and currents and whatnot. Whereas I think on this southern section, I'm not really expecting us to run into those types of problems, but I suppose we don't really know. Also, did I actually mark that on our map, or did I forget to do so? Because I always feel like I forgot. No, I marked it. I marked it. Good, good. Okay. So now we just need to not hit things for a second here. In which case, backing it up might make that a little bit easier to do. So just give ourselves a nice wide berth. And I'm not sure how far south it's going to let me go with this ship here before it says we're going to be at the end of the world. It might be not far beyond this. But no, at least for now, we appear to be good. And the islands we're headed for, they looked like they were going to be somewhat large. I mean, this looks pretty big, the stuff directly in front of us. I think we're probably too far away to be seeing much of Unvik, so I think this is the place where we're headed next. Sort of two islands with a little bit of a space in the middle. Seen a little bit of that in the past. Does mean we'll have a little bit of a choice to choose between which island to go for. I think one of them has the question mark, the other one may have another one, actually. We'll have to see. But also gonna keep a little bit of a distance here in case this current-like stuff starts to pick up as we approach the shore. In which case that could cause us some problems. But at least at the moment, things are looking fine. This looks like a shipwreck. With some sirens. As one might have expected. Let's just take another look here. As to where exactly... Yeah, it's definitely the shipwreck. And actually nothing on the island itself. In either case. Read into that however you will. If we get a little bit closer in the boat, and then we'll hop off. Okay. Actually, people down here that we'll be looting, it looks like, and some chests. Okay. I'm gonna say that's a little bit concerning. Yeah, you know, just get an old apple from a dead guy underwater. Sounds like a great idea. In theory, there's a siren that is about to try to attack us. It is, in fact, right next to us. Yeah, black magic doll. What could have possibly happened to these people? I mean, I don't see anything that could have gone wrong. Okay, there's definitely still at least one more siren. Those gauntlets, not amazing. Okay, that, in theory, the one that we just got there, was technically the one that was graying out the marker. Meaning that was perhaps the best of the loots here. That siren's probably going to notice us pretty soon. There are two of them, I think. This is actually shallow enough that we cannot dive underwater. I think we may have gotten everything now. Take a quick look. Oh, now what is that? Hold on. Just a second. We were wondering what, if anything, might be on either island, really. But this one didn't have anything. Yeah, there's a dead person there as well. So I thought this one was glowing red. It means that it... Oh, or was it this? Oh, more black magic dolls. Lovely. This one is glowing red. So this could give us something a little more significant here. Although... glowing red, and yet we can't investigate it, actually. I'm trying to, but it's not showing up. And that may mean that it's bugged. Or may mean that it's tied to a quest that we just haven't encountered yet. So I'm thinking we look a little more closely. I think we actually go for the other island first. There's still more dead people down here. I think we go for the other island first, because I think it's the bigger one. See what, if anything, we can find there. And it may give us some kind of treasure hunt that tells us about the existence of additional people like that guy over there. And then we can actually examine them. Or it doesn't, in which case we explore that little island and do that next. I think we start with the big one. But since it is a little bit bigger, I think that it's actually, I think, a lot bigger. Chances of us finding something significant here, I think, are probably a fair bit larger. Unless you want to make the meta argument that, well, you see, there's probably only one thing of note on any given island, and we already found the thing of note here because there was the shipwreck off the side of this island, and so therefore, if there is anything else, it's probably going to be in the other smaller island. Come on, Lids, don't be silly. To which I say, if you want to make that argument, alright. Fair enough. Can we actually bring in Miss Roach? Thank you.
Giddy up.
I mean, there are certainly still sirens here, which is not going to make Roach terribly pleased with us. In fact, they are already fighting us, perhaps, or at least interested in fighting us. Fled from one siren. Now probably approaching another. Controller did vibrate for a second there. It might have just been because, well, these sirens are still coming for us. And now they're running away. So the thing is, this island is rather large, yes. Oh, there is definitely something else over here. Okay, we will want to check that out, and that may even be possible to do that right now. But, I was gonna say, the island is large, but a lot of it is quite mountainous, and you could maybe make the case that it's not actually going to be that navigable, and therefore might not have much for us to do there. I thought you were going to be too high up to actually get us. Hello. Oh, I did it too soon. That's okay. Decapitated you. Didn't do that one too soon. Yeah, so like we can attempt to climb up this stuff, but it looks, for the most part, very unclimbable. We've certainly tried to do this on many other small islands before, with limited success in terms of actually getting things of note. But we'll see what we can do. Like, nothing on this end, although there is the question mark off. Bearish. May even be able to see some kind of... No, I don't know. I don't think we can see anything out there from this distance. But we'll just verify as to whether there is actually anything here. Because it didn't seem like there was anything down below. That would have been my first guess. Would have been that if there was something, it'd be there. But I suppose this is walkable enough that you could still put something here. I mean, this is like, if we could get Roach all the way up here, that'd be ideal. Can still walk this kind of terrain, that'd be great. Would certainly be faster. And she can.
Go.
At least until now. Until I say that she can.
Hey,
And this is, that's gonna be tough on Roach here. Gonna be tough on us as well. But I'm gonna try to hop our way to just kind of roll over. Yes, there we go. Yeah, like, the more we need to push the boundaries of us being able to jump up on this stuff, the more skeptical I become, of course, of this actually being a place where we might have reason to go. The more it feels like, yeah, you know, you're probably just not supposed to be here. Did not hit. For a second there, it looked like by swinging our sword at the side of the mountain, we managed to deal damage to that siren. Not actually, but the sound effect was such that it seemed like that was the case. And this is really the last spot here. And I'm really not seeing much of anything here other than an additional siren who now wants to fight us. Oh. Get back here. Come on. Let me at her. Come on. Preferably not from directly overhead where we can't do anything. Alright, really? Don't make us break out. Oh, I wanted to just go with the baseball swing and time it correctly. Well, it does seem like you just always seem to beat us to the punch. Thought we were doing this once upon a time. Yeah, more like that. I guess you just need to do it a little bit earlier. Out of practice with that, I suppose. Of course, using art is the easy way, but... Okay. So yeah, I think there's not anything else over here. We did, of course, as we were saying before, see that body that was highlighted red on the other island, which suggests that there should be something in this area, either on this island or the other one, that would ultimately direct us to that person. But no sign of such a quest starting thingamabob here of any variety. So I think in that case, we head over to the other island, see what, if anything, we run into, and we take it from there. And like I said before, there's a non-zero chance that it might just be a little bit bugged, and perhaps you are supposed to be able to interact with that dude, and for some reason, it just wasn't letting us do it at the time. And if so, then we can try the usual quick save game, reload game, and oftentimes that will help us when it comes to things that we should be able to interact with, but the game isn't letting us interact with them for some reason. Because we looted that dude, but this is the dude we're talking about. Has the red quest glow. Can we tell anything about him? I don't know, it looks like he has antlers. But won't let us interact with him. What is that down there? I thought we looted everything with this stuff. Hold on a second. Hold on. I thought I made a point of going back to looting this stuff. Is that just an herb of some variety? It may be. No. Oh, hold on. Oh, no. I was gonna say, that looks red. Is that quest related? No, that's just the painting on the boat. What's this? A black magic doll. How could we ever live with ourselves if we had missed that? I know I couldn't have. But yeah, where might we find something that would trigger a quest, suddenly make this guy interesting to us? I think either way, we probably want to get Roach to make this a little bit easier on us.
Let's go.
And keep our eyes peeled.
Take it easy.
Seemingly not
Right,
anything
Roach.
on this side. At least not at the moment. I mean, I suppose there's a chance that the thing that triggers this is something very, very far off, not even on this double island area. But that seems quite unlikely. Suppose there is a chance, yes, but quite unlikely. But I'm starting to lean more toward the it's worth just taking a minute to quickly restart the game and see if suddenly we're now able to interact with it type business. But first, we'll just see if we can break our ankles. And by that I mean, is there anything interesting up here for us to investigate that might initiate something? Potentially? But it's not looking like it, because can't really get over here. I'm trying to roll out of this, but I mean, where to? This is basically just a steep cliffside without much to climb onto. Unless there's something over here. That also seems rather unlikely. Unless there's something like down here? This little area? I don't think so. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge to get back there. The other side of the island. Worst comes to worst, we might even need to swim it. But it's small enough, that shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I think at this point, having not seen anything else to initiate a quest, I think it is worth it for us to do a quick restart. Try seeing if we can then interact with that dude there and see if that starts a quest. Because very unusual for us to run into a red glowy item or whatever and not be able to interact with it. Usually what happens is, if anything, even if it's not necessarily the quote-unquote first thing in a quest line, we can still interact with it, and that's why we find ourselves jumping the gun, so to speak, and skipping a bunch of things. But odd that we see one here, and yet it's not letting us interact at all. So we'll find it, and then we'll do our quick restart. game, meanwhile, is like, oh, hold on, let me think about this for a second. I think it's basically right next to Roach on the street, yeah. Could it just be an entirely false alarm? Nothing here at all? I mean, why is it glowing red then? I don't think so. That'd be strange. So we saved. Let's load. And we'll just see if it just so happens that after giving the game a little bit of a kick in the side, it decides, oh, right. This is what I'm supposed to do. Now I remember. That's what we're hoping for. Now we see it. Still can't do anything with it. Alright, I think in that case we just let sleeping skeletons lie. And we carry on. I suppose there is the question mark on the map here. There's a non-zero chance that question mark will lead us back to this dead guy. At this point, that's probably my best bet. But we'll see. Because the concern I have is that if this guy is... if you can do something with him, he's not marked by anything. The chances of us remembering to come back here and check him out are slim to none. So I would want to do whatever it is you can do now, while it's front of mind. But we shall see what the deal is with this stuff here. I was assuming it was probably just another smuggler's cache or something similar to that, but maybe not. Yeah, okay. It does look like it. Got some birdies, but seemingly no sirens. And they're all really close together. How convenient. Bounty Hunter's Gambeson. Interesting. Relic rarity. We'll have to check it out. And this one... I mean, many of these have had pretty solid crafting materials as well. So I think we'll find that certainly once we've done all this stuff, we will have a ton of those types of materials. And in some cases, we've gone out of our way to buy a fair number of at least like dimeridium and sometimes silver. But nothing to suggest that we need to go back to that other dude. Let's mark our next spot on our map, which means, yeah, there's a bit of an archipelago around here. Series of islands. And we are approaching 600 weight. We're getting there. You may have laughed when I said it. You may have shaken your head and gone, no. We're not gonna reach this whole 1,000 mark thing. That's crazy talk. Well. We shall see. We shall see about that. I don't know. Of course, it might be the boat that goes before our inventory becomes a problem. He says as he looks away to the screen to take a glass of water, fearing that he might be about to crash into this landmass. Okay, we just need to go a little bit to the side of it, in theory. This is where the thing of note is. Although this is big enough that you could make the case it's worth trying to explore it, although, talk about steep islands. This one is, like, crazy steep and looks almost impossible to do anything over there. Although, what is this? Spoils of war, okay. I'm gonna say it looked a little bit different. No swarm of sirens around it, and only a single chest, it looks like. So what do we have here? Dimeridium, mostly? Okay. Again, solid crafting items. Maybe nothing that's, like, crazy powerful. crazy powerful or anything directly, but we'll take it. Nope, nope. Other thing. Other thing. Not dive under. Jump on top. Jump on top. There we go. Okay. I don't really think we picked up much that actually has weight with that set there. Because that was mostly crafting stuff. So yeah, we could try to walk onto this island, but I mean, like, how? So, I don't really think that's much of a thing. There's this little island, littler island, further along this way, which looks a little bit more possible to make that happen. So we could give that a shot. It doesn't have any specific markers on it. So, no guarantees of any variety. But I think now we're starting to get maybe not quite close enough to be entering the Unvik danger area. But we're getting close, at least, to where it may become relevant in the not-so-distant future. Let's see. So we can, of course, make it on here. Next question becomes, can we do anything interesting on this little island? Is there anything interesting on this little island? Or is it just a nice view and nothing else? Because I'm not seeing too much here right now. Though I think we did actually see that some of the islands, I think they were typically north of Unvik, in this area though, they didn't have any markers on them in terms of question marks, but they actually had some Witcher School gear. Some of our remaining Bear School gear is not too far from here. But I think that's not on these islands down here. That's like up here on these little islands. But just for frame of reference in terms of, you know, how significant might the things we find on these islands be? And the answer to that, I think, is, at least on that occasion, could be a fair bit relevant. Now, of course, as I said before a while ago, I do think that it is pretty unlikely that we would ever end up using the Bear School gear. Because I'm pretty sure that's heavy armor. I think that's far enough away from what we've been doing thus far that I would not really see us doing it. I could potentially see us trying out some medium Witcher School armor if we really liked the bonus that it gave us or the other special attributes we saw on them. Like, one of the primary reasons why I did ultimately go with the cat armor was because I like the light armor, because it means we get our stamina back more quickly so we can spam signs more easily. That's good, but that's the case with any light armor. But I mean, obviously, like, Witcher School armor that is light, so the best type of light armor. But I did also like that the cat school stuff gave attack damage in ways that you would not normally be able to get it from armor. That was intriguing. But assuming that there are other similarly powerful bonuses that you get from other types of Witcher School gear, I don't recall what they were, but they could still be interesting if they're medium armor, in which case we're not taking a huge penalty for our stamina regeneration, whereas for heavy armor, you know, we would. Okay, so next question mark is up here. I think we try this little island. Maybe put that a little bit closer to the actual island. And then we go to this question mark here, and then we'll start going further west. That is assuming that we can actually get on here, which is like maybe in that little area in the middle. But it's not looking terribly inviting right now. So, kind of trying to see there's a better spot like that. Looks a little bit more friendly for actually going here on foot. And these really look like they are trees that just got chopped down, which is interesting because that implies, of course, that there were once people on this area who decided to chop them down. No, I suppose that was more like a natural break. Not like there was a group of lumberjacks that came here and settled the area, because this is still pretty darn remote. The ways off of Unvik, and Unvik itself is, of course, well, pretty remote as well. I'm not really seeing much of a way to get over there across this very steep cliffside. I mean, we could try to hip-hop our way over, but not sure if I'm, well, seeing that as being possible until he does it. But then, is there anything here? Because the answer, at least at the moment, appears to be no. That was just snow for a second. It looked like there might have been something glowing there a bit. But no. I don't think so. I think in that case, we head back to the boat and we head to the next question mark. It's just off the coast of the next island over, I believe. I suppose we could even try swimming there, but gonna need the boat eventually. Speaking of which, where did we leave the boat? Thought we put it over on this side. Kind of, sort of, but not really. It's actually back over this way. We'll be fine. Yes, there's a question mark over here. I think that, I mean, I suppose there's still a chance that we might run into a little bit of winter school gear, even when we're on the southern/eastern side of Unvik. But I know that some of it is north. Potentially worth double-checking our official treasure hunts just to see in advance, proactively, you know, like, okay, if we know that there's going to be something here, then obviously we'll make a point of more thoroughly checking it. But there's a boat over there. That actually our question mark? We should mark it on our map. Is it marked on our map? It is not on our. It is not marked on our map. It is actually in the opposite direction that we are currently headed. So that does make me wonder if we can actually make it to that mystery boat. As we did see some smugglers' caches in just about every one of the boats that we ran into before. Was it on this big-ish island here? This is pretty big. Yeah, some steep inclines, but at least some of it looks like we can check it out on foot. Okay, it looks like we need to go around this way. This might not even be it. Is this it? Or is it further still? No, it's over here. Okay, here it is. As one might have anticipated, the smuggler's cache, and just in time for the Sirens. Try to get them to go a little bit further away from where we have our boat parked right now. Because one totally parks a boat. That's the way that boats work. That was a ranged snipe. Here's another siren here, or in fact, numerous. Hello. And here you are directly on top of us. Oh, over the shoulder. No look snipe. How about that? Harold says, don't mind if I do. That, we did not need to go back above water. I think that's all of them, though. Okay, nothing huge there. The digger. And from this one, sapphire dust, meteorite ingot. Okay. mostly the crafting stuff, a little bit with the gear itself. That is the last of that stuff, and we're at 599. Darn it. What's not happening? We keep on getting stuck on 99. I mean, I do almost wonder if there is a hard limit somewhere. Like, can you actually exceed 999? Can you go into quadruple digits? There's a chance you can. I do kind of want to see if we can land here. I mean, it still looks so... looks pretty unlikely for us to actually see anything here. But if we're gonna check, then now is, of course, the time to check. Because what are the chances we ever come back here, investigate this place any further? Slim to none. Slim to none. Anything hiding in this little alcove here? I don't think so. Yeah, and it's been a while since we found any random stuffs on one of these unnamed islands. I think the last thing probably was that red body that appeared to be affiliated with some kind of quest, but we couldn't actually interact with it. So if you don't count that, then a ways back, further still. I think we probably call that one a day, because I mean, at least on that side of the island, not so easy to go any further than that. We could potentially try sailing up to the side down here and see if there's a better way to get up from here, but I have my doubts. This looks pretty steep as well. Steeper, really. In which case, we could deliberately put a marker here down this little island, which is kind of where we saw the ship before, off in the distance. At the same time, it is in the opposite direction of some of these question marks over here. Well, it's a little tricky, because this question mark and these question marks up here are obviously in the opposite direction. So, how do we want to approach this, then? How do we want to approach this one? Because I think it's almost inevitable that we need to do a bit of back and forth. My concern is that I feel like if we don't check out this boat that may or may not be something, then we'll probably forget about it. Whereas the other spot has an actual question mark on it, so we're more likely to, well, we will definitely at least remember that it's there. Okay, come on. Come on. 3-point turn. There we go. We pass Sailor's Head. Maybe. Yeah, so let's see what we find, if anything, there. Because initially I would have thought that would have been outside of the bounds of the world, or just wouldn't have thought we'd see much, but then we saw that boat way off in the distance, and it seemed like, well, I don't know, you didn't need to put that there. So, I would think it's there for a reason. But, we'll see. I think it was basically right off to the side of this island here. It looked like it might have been a little bit further than it. But, we'll have to confirm. We'll try to gauge if this looks like an island that we can actually go onto or not. I mean, if you approach it from the right side, it seems like that's probably possible to get there, but as for whether or not you can actually do anything on here, that much is uncertain. Well, here is the island. I believe this is the island in question. Is that that's the boat there. Way out there. That is a ways further. We're talking... that has to be beyond the end of the world. Let's check this real quick. And then maybe we'll just sail to the edge of the world and confirm that the game does not want us to go that far. just a little strange to see that there. I mean, it's quite faint. But I noticed it. Anything here at all? Anything at all? Maybe? Possibly? Potentially? Place of power at the top? Eh? 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 Chest with 1,000 dimeridium ingots? No? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. And away we go. Alright, so let us at least try. Go over here and see what we end up with. Yeah, I figure we're probably gonna just hit the end of the world. Probably quite soon, in fact. I imagine you can't go much farther beyond this island. Like, we'll try sailing for this boat here. And it may not even get any bigger. It may just be, like, permanently glued to the horizon like this. I wouldn't necessarily rule that out. Unless this is a super secret area with the best of loots. It's actually a hidden foreshadowing of what's going to come.
Perfect weather for a voyage.
Yeah. Does, in fact, want us to turn back. It did let us go further than I expected it to. But confirmed. That is off of this world. Okay, so... Thing is, we're kind of equidistant to this question mark and this question mark. Obviously, whichever one we choose would probably lead us to go in an entirely different direction. If we go this way, probably end up going counterclockwise around Unvik. Whereas if we go to this one, then we'd probably go clockwise around Unvik. And I don't necessarily know which one is preferable. There probably isn't a quote-unquote right answer per se. There do seem to be more things over to the east. And, I mean, I would say that you probably finish on the east, because at least on the northeastern side here, then you can just kind of continue on this way toward the SKELLIGE harbor area here, the bay, if you will, and then keep on going around Speakerog and up around on SKELLIGE and finish the loop. Problem is, you still need to duck back down to get these guys, even if you do end up going the clockwise route like this. Like, it'd be best if you just go here and then keep on sailing this way. But you need to keep on going and then go down and then go back, and that's... I mean, either way, I suppose, you're gonna get some inefficiencies, so let's try doing this way. It's actually surprisingly not that far off from the end of the world. I looked at the marker and I was like, hold on a second, is that taking us right back where the game was saying, no, you can't go here? It did kind of seem like it for a second. It's like, surely you wouldn't. If they're just telling us that, surely you would not. Just mess with our brains like that. But the question marks are a little bit more spread out. Actually, I think considerably more spread out on this side. So, and they were, at least on some occasions, either on or next to bodies of land, or land masses, I should say. Which may mean that they will differ a little bit from the types of ones that we've seen most on our journey across the 7 seas of Skellige, like the smuggler's caches. And it's looking reasonable size here. And at this point, we'll be getting close enough to... Oh, wow. I was going to say getting close enough to Unvik that we'd probably be entering the area where we might run into some silly stuff. Some weather stuff. But, I don't know, this is pretty darn remote. This is, as we just saw, pretty much as far south as you can go, and also approaching just about as far west as you can go as well. Maybe not this question mark, but by the time we get to the next one, probably. So, huh. Yeah, this is surprisingly big. But what is actually here? It looks like there is a boat. At least one boat, if not more than one. So, might be the smuggler's cache next to a boat type of thing? We'll have to see. Otherwise, I'm not seeing too much else here. Does look like we could definitely make a landing on that at least bigger island over to the right. And might not have too much that we could actually walk around over there, because there's certainly a rather large mountainous area. But at least along the shoreline, there's a bit of stuff we could explore. Okay, and then this little island over here, certainly. This looks quite tame, comparatively. This ship looks remarkably intact. And a little bit different than the usual ships we encounter here. It looks bigger. And just architecturally different. Nava Isle. It does have a name. It does have a name. Interesting. Okay. What is this? It is the question mark. Those appear to be people hanging, perhaps. Lovely. There are signs of enemies. It is a smuggler's cache. Those are drowners, or are those sirens? Those are drowners, and they are just chilling right here. Excuse me, I totally was prepared to shoot you. Excuse me? I just shot you. You just ignored it. Okay. Are there any more? Yes, there are. Oh. Really? These ones also kind of look like they just appeared out of nowhere. We were kind of standing right next to them. Or right next to where they were, and then suddenly they're like, oh yeah, no, now we're gonna exist. Okay. Let's nab this. Silverton sword. Okay. May or may not have just thought that one of those fish was going to be a drowner. What was the name of this island? Was it Silverton Isle, even? Might have been. Okay. And we have, it looks like a couple more chests here. I think we definitely will want to check out what's happening on the island itself. Because if it has a name, you would think that there's a reason why it has a name. It's significant enough for someone to care about it. Okay. I think we start with this little one here. I don't necessarily think we're going to find anything here from that one, but just for the sake of being thorough, and then I think this one obviously is probably the one they were referring to when we saw that name. And then there were one or two other places that we've run into thus far where there were kind of randomish islands that did in fact have names. One of them was the place where we explored the crater with Yennefer underwater. So I wonder if that is an indication that perhaps we might be here for quest reasons on a future occasion. No, back it up. This, the other, no, Geralt. Reverse. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll do this. If you insist. I just wanted to get a little bit closer, but turning into quite an ordeal to make that. Geralt. That's the go forward button. It's not the get up and walk away button. Not sure why you are interpreting it as such. looking for a place where we can get up on this little island. I think the answer might be right here. Let's not get too close now. Let's not get too hasty. Yeah, this one does kind of just look like a little sandbar of sorts. Is there anything here, though? Nava Isle is the name. Okay. Can we spot anything on the main island from here? Don't really think so. Can we call Roach on here? Yeah. Actually, surprisingly, I thought it was going to be so small that Roach was going to be like, nah, not my style.
Move it.
That does make it a little bit easier for us to do this, though. And just quickly determine, is there anything that we want here? And I think the answer is apparently no. As we kind of figured would be the case. If there is anything interesting, we're expecting it to primarily be on the big island. Okay. So, let us check that out, in that case. Every time we do a hard turn like that and the boat either tilts a little bit or, you know, the waves come crashing up against the side of the boat and you go, yeah, you know, we would realistically have a significant amount of water in our boat after having done that. Does make you shake your head a little bit, but, okay. Let's check this out. This will definitely be a Roach situation. Let's go with your senses real quick, see if there's anything hanging out in the shallow waters here, but doesn't look like it. Alright, so, why does this island have a name? Show us why you matter.
Faster.
And this is, at least a bit of the island here is flat enough that we can actually speed around a little bit with Roach, I think.
Not so fast, Roach.
Not at the moment.
Come on.
But when Roach is not running into trees, you know, check this place out a little bit. Anything here? Does drop down a bit.
Take it
but
easy.
Doesn't look like there's anything.
Run, Roach.
Come on, Roach. You can make it up that. I know you can make it up that. I know you can make it up that, Roach. Don't tell me we got stuck here.
Come on, Roach.
Come on. There we go. I think it's more likely that whatever we're looking for will be down here-ish.
Come on.
And this is where Roach is a little more useful, being able to be all speedy. Nothing right now, though. Ooh. Okay, well that got steep. And Roach, no! Away she goes into the water. Okay, she can swim underwater. She's a seahorse. We've seen it. She'll be fine. Don't worry about her. We're on to the other side now. Again, still looking for something. Something to make this place significant. Maybe on this edge here. And there's the boat, but of course the boat is not really on the island itself. This little peninsula. Anything? I mean, there's a little bit more back behind us. We didn't necessarily get to all the flat stuff. We could probably still mount a bit of that mountain. But even then, We generally haven't had much success when it comes to finding things in the higher elevation areas. That's why I'm less optimistic about finding something. If we were to say, go over here-ish. But this might require us to go on foot.
Hey-ya.
Or not. Were we up here before? Because this does look a little intriguing. Hold on a second. Something over there looked like a path. Bit like a path. I mean, I'm going to check this corner while we're here. Just to be a little thorough. But I think we might have seen something that looked perhaps more significant, or at least gave me a little more hope than anything we've seen thus far. Exactly was it, though? It's a little harder to tell from this angle. I think it's down this way. Further in this direction. Did I make it up? No, up here. Actually gonna find anything? Looks like it was over in this direction. It looked like a pathway in which there were some, like, chopped trees, which again, like some of the fallen trees and dead trees, I suppose, look a bit like they were actually manually chopped down, but maybe not. I doubt we can actually climb this, but I'll try. Peculiar. Have our winter senses on just in case. But a pretty big place. Ah, here's something. Okay. I was gonna say, it's a little too big, seemingly a little too significant for there to be absolutely nothing. Looks like a bear? Lovely. A bear on an altar? This makes me think of the bear men that we heard exist on Skellige, theoretically. At least according to myth. It's like someone who's doing a bear ritual and trying to turn themselves into a bear person. Oh, no, no, no. Let's see. And I doubt there's anything here. But okay. I mean, we basically saw the top there. And I think mostly just those couple of chests that we saw. That's about it. I mean, not exactly the best of loot. But at least, perhaps we have satiated our curiosity. If nothing else.
Move it.
So let's head on back. Come on, Roach. Preferably none to that tree stump. Ooh, that's a steeper decline than I realized. Maybe a little bit of a better route.
Come on now.
And dismount. Head on back to the boat. And we don't actually need to dive underwater, but sure, I suppose, why not? For good measure. I mean, it's good practice for when our boat becomes a submarine, right? Okay. And now let's mark our next spot, which I think is also going to be a bit distant. Well, This is actually also a pretty big island over in this direction here. Now we'll have one piece of loot on it, or two chests, both with normal rarity or stuff like that items. I think the second one actually had some half-decent crafting stuffs. But the amount of time and effort it took to get here and find the actual chest, I don't know, a little unimpressive. A little lackluster. But actually, I'm curious, for those of you who did, well, I guess for those of you who did play The Witcher 3 to begin with, did you find yourself going through and, one, checking out and getting all the question marks in Skellige in the water? And then furthermore, did you even look on islands like this one, where there weren't question marks, but you had reason to suspect that there might have been other things there as well? Did you go that far, or did you just say, nah, you know, I'll draw the line there? Okay. So now our question is, how do we land here? And I think, can we land on this? That's kind of looking like that's actually... No. A little too steep. Maybe that edge right there to the right, but even that looks a little bit speculative. The sun, though. Beautiful. Maybe here. Try giving this a shot. This spot right here looks like it might have the highest chances of us being able to actually get on. We can. Does this highland have a name? Because it is roughly the same size, I think, as the one that we were just on previously, but seemingly does not. It has an herb on it, which may seem like that's no big deal. However, when it comes to these random islands, that's actually pretty unusual. I do not remember many times seeing that. What is this here? That did not look like an herb. Because it's not an herb. Oh! Ha ha ha! Okay. Some half-decent crafting stuff there. Oh, you could sneak it past me.
Take it easy.
Now, that might be all we get here. But
Go.
we'll just keep
Slower.
an eye out for other things kind of like that. But, well,
Faster.
not exactly sure we're going to be able to go much further than this, because, well,
Hey-ya.
I don't know. Did you look up? Well, actually, let's stay on Roach. If Carol wants to stop falling. And try getting to the other side. Roach is apparently inaccessible from here. Nah, there we go. Okay. Can you make it through that? Kinda, sorta, but not really. Yes, we're good. Can we go over here? Roach cannot. Down goes Roach. Sorry, Roach. We can see if we can climb up this area here. Looks like it is maybe the gradualist of inclines, but it is telling me that we cannot jump it. Oh, hold on. Hold on. No, Geralt. Geralt. Come on, jump again. Jump again. Jump again. Take it over the ledge. There we go. Anything is possible. So are we gonna find anything else here? On this area, we might even want to try to bring Roach back.
That's it, Roach.
Let's see. 4 herbs. Are they pop umbles again? They are. Those are actually a little bit rare.
Not so fast, Roach.
Little bit of a ravine of sorts.
That's it, Roach.
Small one. Did raise suspicion for a
Take it
moment.
easy.
Yeah, but I think that's about the end of the line there. So I think short of the other herbs right there. And,
Whoa!
oh, hold on. That does not seem to be shown up as herbs. No, this is another chest. Alright. Maybe not quite as good as the previous one, but just as we were about to give up on the island, gives us a little surprise. So that's the kind of thing that I was hoping that we might find more regularly on the other islands. You know, some well-hidden chests here and there, with some decent stuff in them, that just rewards you for putting in the effort of
Come on now.
going to the edge of the earth, quite literally, to find this place.
Slow now.
Even when it doesn't necessarily have any markers that would tell you that you should go here. You say, no, I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to see if you hit anything here as well. And on this occasion, it did in fact pay off. Even if on many other occasions, it has not. Okay, so let's mark real quick. Next in that case would be this question mark here. And then, yeah, we are basically as far southwest as it gets at this point. Oh, for a second there, the controller vibrated a little bit as if we were taking damage on our boat. Not sure why, because there definitely is not anything over here. A little strange. And this is what I think might even be arguably the second to last of the question marks in this general area to the southwest of Unvik. That, I believe, is Unvik, right over there. Now we've been saying, oh, some of these cliff faces, they're pretty big, they're pretty steep. Well, it doesn't really compare to what you see there on the bigger islands like Unvik. But, you know, there's a lot of space for those mountains to gradually slope upward, whereas in this occasion it's basically just like 90-degree angle. Have fun climbing this. Okay, so this one, is it actually on the island itself or is it a little bit off of it? It appears to be certainly on it. Certainly on it. So that means it could be different from many of the things we've seen previously. Definitely not going to be a smuggler's cache on land. So my money would be on guarded treasure, probably. Have reason to believe that it's not a monster den, based on how we apparently have cleared all those. Okay, so we're getting close now. And that does mean that we're again looking for a place to actually make a landing here. This is big enough that this could be another island that actually has a name. I'm not really seeing any places to land here. I'm thinking we might actually need to go, well, I mean, the thing is, it looks steeper to the left, but the left is where the marker is, where the actual question mark is. But I think we need to go to the other side to at least be able to actually walk here. And then we'll actually need to do a little bit more navigating around to find the question mark itself. But yeah, this is looking like there could certainly be some stuffs here for us to check out. We know there's at least one thing. I think guarded treasure. Not sure what else it could be. Hidden loot, or whatever that one's called. Hidden treasure. A slight variation on the same idea. Definitely want to get Roach out here. Do we try exploring this coastline here first? Or do we just make a beeline straight for the question mark? Maybe we go question mark first and then do our more general exploration. In which case we're following our marker. I mean, we'll keep our Witcher senses on, because we can, but okay, there
Run,
is
Roach.
apparently a sign of at least one monster here. Let's save. So, guarded treasure, again, seeming likely. Yup! And it's a Cyclops. In the middle of nowhere. No, that's not what I wanted you to do. That's not what... Geralt, please dismount. Thank you. Okay, let's get the coin on. I mean... Sure, we'll throw on an Ogroid oil. Not really sure we need it, but we can, so why not? And this shouldn't be too bad. I mean, they hit hard, but we got our Quinn. But the lack of mobility is going to make this a little bit on the trickier side, of course. Try lower your defenses, and then give you a whirl, and no big deal. Okay, now this is presumably the treasure that you were guarding. Greater runestone. Oathbreaker armor sounds intense. Have to see if it's any good. Okay, now I'm thinking we go for the more general... Whoa, sword is bright red? Is it just from having just fought someone and having blood on it? I don't actually remember that ever being the case. It's like very noticeably bright red at the moment. Is that just the way this sword always looks? I don't know. For some reason that didn't ever seem as noticeable. Though I bet it has been the case always. Okay. Let's get Roach back here to make us a little more mobile. Let's see, in terms of our weight, yeah, we're 635 now. Roach, where exactly are you? Here. Okay. So this island is big enough that, sure, we had our guarded treasure here, but I still think there's a chance we could find maybe one or two other chests of some variety. Let's see. Okay, don't really want to fall all the way down there because that might be a little bit tough to get back up. I think for the most part, I want to look at the place where we landed, where there seems to be a lot more levelish ground, and I think that's a little more likely for us to find things that are interesting to us there. Anything on this end? We have our Witcher senses on right now. The thing should be glowing.
Slow now.
If there is anything that we can do, interact with, but nothing yet. Kinda looked here on our way up. Nothing yet. I'm thinking we head at least a little bit over to this side here, where it is the lowland area. Anything in this corner?
Come on, Roach.
Come on, Roach. And come on, camera.
Take it easy.
Work with me here. Don't fight me like that. Not seeing much. Anything on the far end here? You know, hearing some drowners. And Geralt is
Come on, Roach.
not so enthused about them, perhaps, but there are a ton of them, actually. It does make you wonder if there's actually anything down there. I mean, even from this distance, we might be able to see through the water with our Witcher senses to find any potential loots, and there aren't any, at least not shown up there. So come on, Roach, you can do it. There we go. Get ourselves a little bit closer to the boat. Okay. So yeah, I don't really think there's anything over there with those drowners. I'm pretty sure we would have seen it, even from that distance. I think so. So I think that means that it was just that one guarded treasure in that area, but that's significant enough of a thing on a landmass of this size that that could very well be the only thing around here. And I suppose next is probably this little island here. Doesn't have a question mark on it, but big enough that, again, I mean, not as big as where we just were, but one might expect to find something here. So we'll give it a shot. And we're probably going to pass by that area with all the drowners here. Or actually, Sirens. I thought they were drowners, but they appear to be Sirens. You can see them. But I don't really see anything that they appear to be guarding. They are now following us, of course. Perhaps aggressively. At times, they do give up if we go far away from where they were originally. This one is still following us, but at a bit more of a distance. Okay, well, let's not crash into the shoreline. Okay, if you want to fight us on land, that's fine. That was a Quen? Is that what we ended up on? I meant to make that Iggy. Oh, one hit was enough, actually. There are a lot of the Sirens here, seemingly. More where those ones came from. And those ones may have been the ones that were following us from ocean. Oh, that was preemptive. Hello? Yeah, even when we hit them with the sign, when they're flying at us like that, it does seem like they almost always still manage to get hidden. And I know R is technically the one that you're supposed to use, but I like to mix it up every now and again. And I know, oh, well, that was meant to be done. I know we can, like, we can use our horn if we manage to blow it before they actually hit us. Hey, since they interrupted us mid-blow, apparently, we finished the sound effect as we are in the process of attacking them. A little silly, but sure. What about this time? Hello. What? What was... What? I don't think I've ever seen them do that stuff when they're on the ground like that. They stunned us, then they actually attacked us. I don't think I've ever seen that. They've always been basically completely helpless when they're on the ground like that. So that is new to me. And we still don't know if there's necessarily anything on this island other than all those Sirens we were just fighting.
Run, Roach.
Compared to some of the ones we've been on recently, it is on the smaller side, this island here, and we probably are about to get into another fight with some Sirens right about now.
Hey, yeah.
But yeah, since it's smaller, perhaps a little less likely to find things, but still big enough that there could be one thing here.
Come on now.
Sirens still far enough away that they don't care about us.
Roach.
So that one is perhaps pushing that limit a bit. Easy, Roach. Not that fast. Up to the cliff. Yeah, I don't know. Is that something there?
Move it.
Or is that just more plants? I'm trying to dismount. Thank you, Roach. Roach, no! Don't take the hit. Don't be a hero. We have loots. Okay. Yeah, so not really seeing anything here. But we have certainly seen islands bigger than this that didn't have anything. That makes some sense if this one also doesn't have anything. Nope, we'll do something, Roach. I know it's a bit of a drop off, but I think you can still. I mean, yeah, you can certainly do this, right?
Go.
Just, you know, go straight into the tree.
Whoa!
Yeah. I'm thinking it's pretty much empty outside of those sirens. Also, where is our boat? Where is our boat? Okay. Slightly different side of the island. Was a little bit concerned there. For a minute, it looked like we had gone boatless. Which would have been reason for concern, I think. We are remote enough at this point that it would have been perhaps a bit of a challenge to find another one. Well, I mean, we're close enough to Unvik that I probably could still find one somewhere on the shoreline there, but... No. That is definitely not what I want you to do. Don't mount Roach immediately after getting off of her. No, we're looking to get on out of here. You're in the Sirens. Okay, still gonna pick a fight with us? Okay, do not go forward. Whatever you do not go forward. Just back it up. Very slowly at that. Actually, which direction are we trying to go in? Now this is an interesting one. That's a big island. That's a very big island. Possibly the biggest, not one of the main islands that we've encountered on our long journey around all of the ocean around Skellige. So I'm guessing this one will actually have a name, but don't know where to approach this one from, because there is this inlet here, this bay area, and so if you wanted to bring the boat as close as possible, you'd try sailing in through here. That is a long loop around, whereas just going on this shoreline here, if it is walkable, would certainly be more efficient. At least would seemingly be more efficient. We'll get back for you, Roach. Never mind the fact that we, left you right next to all those sirens as well. I'm sure you'd love us for doing that. Okay. Let's see. Is this it right here? This might be it already. It's pretty close by. And are we fighting some currents here? I don't know, I mean, that is Unvik right there. So I wouldn't rule it out, although I thought for the most part, when we approached Unvik from a slightly different angle, we found ourselves avoiding most of those problems. So especially when we're going in this totally different side of the island, I think we might be relatively free from those issues. I think it's more so once we loop around the northern side that we'll start to experience that more. Let's confirm. Are we where we want to be? We are, island-wise. Don't think we got a name. Despite this seemingly being pretty big. And I think could be plenty of room to summon Roach here. Okay. So this could take some time to explore, because this looks quite large, and already,
Hey
yep,
there.
seeing some treasure. And what is whatever these things that are making sounds over here? Maybe worth a quick... Oh, that's a bear. Maybe worth a quick save, just in case. This is a level 500 bear. It is a level 16 bear. It is 2. In fact, this person here has a red highlight around them, suggesting that they are affiliated with some kind of quest, which is interesting. Of course, we know what happened the previous occasion when we tried investigating one such scenario. We did not get to do anything, after all. But fingers crossed here, especially in what is a pretty large area, like we were saying. Reason to suspect that it might be a little more significant. You know, we can even move around these things that have loot in them like that. I guess not that often that we're attacking our loot. Well, then again, I mean, this is Vids we're talking about here. I've probably tried to attack our loot on a few occasions. Okay. Let's start with this stuff. Some runes. This is not lootable. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm referring to. Could that be tied to the other thing that we were seeing on the other island? The other dead guy that we couldn't investigate? Before we do, let's just check this out as well. And there could certainly still be additional pieces of loot on this island. I think it is still probably worth exploring further. This, oh, it's locked. Okay, well, in that case, I suspect this guy's probably just going to have a key. That's probably all it's going to be. He is, maybe it does count as a treasure hunt quest still, but it's going to be a rather short one. Or maybe it's just a key, and only a key. And we take it over here. And we'll see how significant the stuffs out of this is. Like to believe that it'll be good, based on how it does, of course, require a key to unlock. The adversary we did see from a previous island, we got this, and it was a high enough level that it was actually quite good. I think we actually started using it. It was a silver sword. If it's a higher level still for this one, then we could swap over again, I suppose. Oh, had it for a second there. Oh, adversary. Okay, we might have several of them. We do have several of them. The digger we did pick up a while back as well. Some crit hit damage bonus is nice, as well as the armor piercing and crit chance. But the base damage is probably too low for us to justify that. Okay. And we're at 638 right now. But I do think, I mean, these areas right here, at least on the mini-map, they look like they might be a little bit more elevated. Is it even possible to explore those areas? Certainly over there. For that side, I would think it would be. The left, maybe a little less so. But it's probably still worth giving it a shot here. Because I think that was, sure, pretty significant loot, but there's still room for more, especially if you consider how there's a shipwreck right there. And that was actually, that's what I was saying before, was like, do we deliberately try to dock our ship over on that side and walk in? Or do we try to sail all the way through this little inlet here and basically end up exactly where that boat ended up? And maybe that would have been the answer. Maybe that would have happened to us as well, in which case, probably not the preferred route.